Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see who's on here. Everyone give a shout out. I want to know who's registered and who's on board here. Cameron, can you just put me up there on the, because we have, I have everyone's video.
Well at this point. And if you all cannot respect where it's in place, I bid
Uh-oh.
you adieu.
There's
Please go
some
ahead
people
and find
talking. We got probably, yeah, there we go. Okay, fantastic. Well, welcome everyone to this special episode here. I've been working with this person for quite a while. His name is Dannion Brinkley. Many of you know him already. That's why you're here. Um, Danny and I are working on a special project together and embarking on some amazing things for 2025. And I thought it's time to introduce you to the newest team member on here. He's been working with us for a while and all of our other colleagues, and he's just a fantastic being. And we have some really in-depth conversations that are so beautiful. And he's an inspiration. We inspire each other tremendously. We work together great. Dannion, welcome, Dannion.
Well, thank you very, very much, Emery. Nice
So,
to be here.
yeah, I'm so glad you made it because at last minute, everyone, of course, Dannion has, special VIP tickets to the inauguration. So he's actually on the road. So we can't do the video here because, he's driving. So he's going to do the voice. We didn't want to cancel it because it's so important that we talk today about all the cool stuff.
But
And
I think, but Emery, also, we need to do this in two parts.
yes, we are.
I want to do this in two parts because I have to put on a tuck. I have the South Carolina inaugural ball, and I have the Make America Healthy Again. I have that Bobby Kennedy ball all tonight.
Yes, I know. I know you don't have a lot
And
of
so,
time.
and so when we booked this, it wasn't sure that I was going to have inauguration, the inauguration and the presidential ball until like what this morning at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. And it's important that you go and represent us because of all the new technologies that we're bringing forward. So I'm really honored that you're going and representing. You've got a lot of stuff you have to present, and I know you're going to do honorable mention for my stuff and what we're doing. So I'm just all the prayers. We're all praying for you're safe through the blizzard. You're driving 8 hours through rain, sleet, and ice. So
All
be
right.
careful. And like I said, and I'm always on speed dial. So if you need anything when you get there, let me know. Uh,
No, we're good. The
yeah.
point of it is everybody needs to be focused on who and what they want to be in this new era. This is not only a presidential election, but a whole new era has an opportunity, and we all need to participate in it. We need to open our hearts and our minds and realize where we are and the opportunity that sits in front of us as human beings in spiritual form
I
and
couldn't put it.
spiritual beings
Yeah.
in human form.
Yeah, I couldn't put it a better way. And I think we should, dive into this. You know, the whole new paradigm for 2025 with, a new political government, new laws and regulatory things are going out across the board, including, upgrades to military and, of course, the extraterrestrial influence and contact that is here right now. Um, Danny, I think one of the things I love what you talk about is, your three near-death experiences with lightning when were killed by lightning those times, and what you went through and what you saw, which made you into this person today. For those people that maybe haven't heard a little bit about that, what happens when you die?
Nothing. Nobody ever dies. It's the stupidest thing that anybody could ever possibly think. To think for a
Exactly.
moment that you're ever going to die is ridiculous. It never happens. Never. So
This guy,
all the people who think they're going to die, they're in for a rude awakening.
Amen to that. That's for sure. We're forever
Nobody
beings.
ever dies. People
That's
have
right.
to there are three things that the near death experience teaches you. And I've been through three near death experiences and two death experiences. So I have been a hospice volunteer for 48 years. So I've studied palliative and end of life care. But if people stop for a moment and looked at the near death experience, because now it's not conspiracy theory, it's reality. There are
That's right.
three things that you take away from the near death experience. Thing number one, you do not die. In every way everybody's ever told you that you were going to die, for all the reasons they told you were going to die, are never true. Number two, 97% of everybody who's ever had a near death experience says they lifted out of their body and they observed their body lying on the bed, lying in the car, lying in the street, all the things that happened. Well, what does that tell you? If you lift it out of your body and you are floating above it and looking at it, that means you're not that body. I don't understand why people don't get that, Emery. How could you be this body if you can lift out of it and float above it? Just like when people have out of body experiences, everybody's going to have this near death experience process. And when you look at that, and then number three, you are an electrical being. What is that state or form that you're in when you're not in your body? You know, we have north, south, east, and west. We have earth, wind, water, and fire. And then you have proton, you have liquid, solid, gas, and now the new term plasma. So number one, you don't die. Number two, you're not that body. Number three, you're an electrical being. If you stop and look at those three factors as reality, you will see that that's really who you are. And once that starts, like when you look at nanoparticulation and you look at the size and you look at 1/1 billionth of a meter, when you start to look at that stuff, Emery, and the fact that the human body is basically an electrical machine, then all of a sudden reality changes. And that's what 2025 will bring us.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And all the stuff I work with, all my products are nanoparticleized and what you're getting into. And everything in the future, if you want to elaborate a little bit more on some of the conversations, private conversations you and I have, everything moving forward, this war is not going to be guys on the ground with guns. We're talking about a frequency electrical war, a biological hazard war, chemical war. So these are the things that we're looking at. Because everything, and he's going to explain this to you, everything is going into a nanoparticle quantum physics state. So it's going to go on a quantum level, and that's including the AI. It's including the new, the new types of computers that are coming out that are 500 times stronger.
Quantum DNA, quantum and DNA computers.
Yes.
I tell you, the next thing that people have to also is remember this word. The definition of the word kinetic, because the battle we're going to fight is, I have said this for 50 years, the battle for the souls of humankind will be fought in healthcare.
Yes.
Okay. We live in a kinetic warfare age. So everybody needs to go look up the word kinetic and add that observation to your present reality. You're living in a kinetically controlled environment. Kinetic weapons. Look at what's happening with these new nuclear tipped kinetic weapons called gravity nuclear tactical theater weapons. Kinetic. How you create a bridge or a Faraday cage around you and operate in a field of energy that can be controlled and manipulated in nanoparticulation. See how smart you are. See, Emery, see how smart everybody is, Emery. So thank everybody for being on this call with us. I appreciate Emery. He's a very wonderfully gifted human being, a little crazy, but who isn't?
Well, you got to be, if you're in my shoes, you got to be a little little cuckoo, you know, and it works out well
What?
because we're all really not from around here, electrically, genetically, and DNA, and we're trying to fit in, and we're trying to get
It
everything
needs it
into a
it needs to be
homeostasis part.
charging.
Oh, I hear someone's, can you mute the mics there, Cameron? There's a couple people talking, I can hear. So yeah, Dannion, I think I'm really excited about this year. I'm excited about, us teaming up and working together on these projects, which is
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
And it's going to be groundbreaking, especially with the new technology being released. Trump is going to be releasing a lot of national security patents that I've had in the military and classified compartmentalized units. Not all of them, but some of them, and not just me, but all these other amazing scientists that are out there. We're going to be able to actually treat people medically the way we're supposed to, which doesn't involve pharmaceuticals or cutting someone open. With the new
And see,
technology.
that's the key. I mean, it's going to be electrical, light therapies. These are the things that's going to happen. It'll be nanoparticulated light therapy, and they'll use either lasers or masers. Okay. And then, this whole new array of who and how we are as beings operate is going to come to the forefront. It's going to come really fast. Nanoparticulation means absorption into the cell brain, into the cell memory to get it past the mitochondrial cell wall. When you nanoparticulate it, the thing that you have to be afraid of is being able to get above the blood-brain barrier. That's going to be a scary thing there, Emery. But
Yeah.
we're coming into an age where we thought we were first physical beings, and then when they invented penicillin, we became chemical beings, and we're trapped in the chemical. But now here's what's going to happen. Because of mRNA and all the stuff that's happening with that, what's going to happen is somebody's going to ask the pharmaceutical company, at what point does that chemical become electrical? And when it becomes electrical is the only time it ever achieves anything in the body. And what happens then? We go from chemical to electrical. And a whole nother world of who we are, how we take care of ourselves comes into play.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing because, we've been studying these, a lot of the life forms down in the Marianas Trench near the volcanic vents for 30 years. And one of the things we found out was, there's no sunlight, there's no really food there to eat. And these creatures are growing, right next to these volcanic vents, which are extremely boiling water, and they're fine. And the way they survive is called chemogenesis. It's life from these chemicals. And moving forward, there are going to be these safe, different solutions that you can take to enhance, what he's trying to say is all that stuff has to be nanoparticleized, and all those minerals that they're living off these creatures is also kind of where we're going in the future. I'm really not a eating food for me is basically like a waste of time, and why am I doing this? And it's kind of a hassle. Now, don't get me wrong. I would like to go out on the weekends with Darla and have, go out to eat or something. It's nice. But it's kind of a leisure. And then in the future, the ETs and we as a civilization actually kind of wean off that. And we can actually get our supplementations by teletransporting that into the cellular membrane. For now, though, we still have to eat, and we have to digest these nanoparticles of these new solutions, like the solutions that, I've developed, like the nano emerald green, which is a 0.02 nano zinc, gold, silver. And what it does
What is that? And what is that used for? That's a antiseptic, an antibiotic, what do you tell me how this product works?
So, sure. The nano emerald green I developed because I was getting, scalard. I was getting attacked a lot, and I needed to protect the DNA and the nucleus and the nucleolus of the cell and the cellular membrane, and like you said, enhance the mitochondria. So what I did is I got a 4-state plasma water, and I added an extra hydrogen electron to it, and then I ran it through all these crystals, and I made a type of colloidal with the gold, silver, and of course zinc I'm the first person to make a 0.02 parts per million zinc. Zinc is really good for you. It's just you can't digest it. So this allows it to go through the blood-brain barrier, into the cellular membrane, into the nucleus and the nucleolus, and then into the DNA, correct the RNA that's been damaged by Wi-Fi and 5G, 6G, 7G, and also
Faraday
a
cages.
protective barrier through frequency to protect all the cells in your body. And then all the cells get together, and now you're one big frequency. So for 24 hours, you're eliminating about 60% of the EMF and the Wi-Fi, any type of scalar infotopmetry weapons. So your cells are impervious to that. The frequency, of course, is enhanced in boosting the immune system because this is an anti-parasitic, antiviral, and antibactericidal. So this is the killer for all that stuff that is slowing your body down because everyone has these toxins in them that are produced by these parasites. So we have
ivermectin in Emery liquid form.
Yeah, it is. And then we have the nano, of course, the aquapharian nano blue, which has methylene blue in it. Now that's not so much for blocking, but that's what we put all.
That's to help oxygen. That's to help oxygen flow faster and more quickly through the body.
Well, the main thing is once we, purify your body, getting the parasites, viruses, and bacteria out, your body goes back to homeostasis, and the cancer leaves. So I'm not trying to kill the cancer. Cancer is your friend. Cancer is trying to,
detox.
It's trying to encompass this parasitic overgrowth. So once we get you, of course, when we do our scans too, the nonlinear system Emery star scan, that's a very deep scan. Okay, 1.2 million frequencies from around the world that we scan your body. Takes 8 hours. We only need a picture or a hair follicle or fingernail, and then we look at all these frequencies that are coming out from your body, measuring it by the photons. The same thing the James Webb Telescope does is it takes a picture of a planet millions and billions and trillions of light years away, and it brings it back. We get the picture, and looking at the picture, we can measure the photons to say, wow, they got manganese there. Wow, they have everything to support human life. Because every one of those minerals and everything on our charts has a specific frequency. So we have logged in all these frequencies, and now I made it for the body. So I can get a picture of you, run it through our system. It measures the photons coming off, which is a hard drive. This energy field around you, this electrical field, is a hard drive for everything about you. So we are able to look at that and measure that and diagnose you and say, hey, this diagnostic scan is showing that you have, let's say, liver cancer. Well, what's causing the liver cancer? So we dive into those cancer cells and we scan those and we say, oh, look, there's some DNA here, from could be a fungus, a parasite, or whatever. And then we know that frequency. So we send that frequency in to zap it. And then we basically destruct those little critters and the cancer goes away.
And you see how easy, listen, all of this, Emery, makes all the sense in the world to me. People who don't know me know that I received a series of future events in 1975 when I was struck by lightning, and these future events describe exactly what you're describing as the new healthcare alignment. And there's a lot of this stuff that's in scalar and nanoparticulation that's Tartanian, that came from the Tartanians, and who the hell knows where they got it from.
Yeah, explain to the audience the Tartanians, Brinkley.
There's a civilization that had free energy,
right?
And somewhere, and these are from the 14 to the, to like the mid 1800s, and because their issue was about free energy, we have wiped out a civilization. We've wiped it out. And so if people look up Tartania, they see that there are all these buildings that exist that when you were supposed to have been able to have a horse and a buggy, no electrical equipment, nothing like that, and you're building these beautiful cities. When you take a look at the Mormon Tabernacle and you think they had no electric tools, and they put that together, and they had horses and buggies, and they didn't have enough people to pick up logs. So who did it? So what that is there's a whole series of technology that we are of and are from and know of that's been blocked from us is a lot of what you're talking about. I think that the thing that we have to watch about what Donald says and what happened is this. We have to see about what happens with the Kennedy assassination information.
Right.
When we want to see what we're going to trust about what's coming up, and this is what we want to do, then what we're going to have to do is just that. We got to see step by step if that happens. And if it doesn't happen, we have to see the reason why it didn't happen. Okay. And then seeing the reason why it didn't happen or whatever we're told was the reason is going to tell what we're facing, Emery, in this next 6 months.
Right. I completely agree because he's launching many investigations, even on what has happened to him, to find out, who's behind all this. And it's important that we find out the root of what's been going on for the past couple 100 years so we can, progress in a more civilized way because we're being restrained from and suppressed with everything, technology. We're all under control in this little matrix. And he definitely wants to put an end to it. And he definitely, before he left office, was speaking with me about these VA medical centers. 500,000 veterans die every year waiting to be seen. I was almost one of them when I got leptomeningeal cancer a couple years ago. They gave me 2 weeks to live, but don't worry, they can fit me into chemo radiation in 4 months. What?
And have no problems killing you with
Oh no,
chemo and
I would be
radiation.
just another number. But luckily we're trained for this our whole lives with brain cancer and stuff. And Darla and I, so I did the frequency and I went on a stat pack. You can look that up at emerysmith.co for severe cases. And I was cured within a couple of weeks. This happen. We do this all the time. We treat many patients, and we're trying to grow our business and get this new spaceship healing center opened here.
But Emery, nothing's going to stop. But listen to me, nothing's going to stop this.
Nope.
Nothing.
It's full
Anybody
blast right
who
now.
looks at anything that sees zinc oxide, graphene oxide. What is graphene oxide? To increase electromagnetic response and increase the reaction electromagnetically. Okay, so when you look at this new series of mRNA studies, not just the vaccine, but mRNA, you see the game. There is nothing that's going to stop people from learning about themselves energetically and electrical. There is nothing. And I've already seen this. When I went to write Saved by the Light some 31 years ago, I wrote down in 1977 the things I saw in what was called the boxes of knowledge. And what it turned out to be is the 50-year probable possibility of the future. So in 1993, when I wrote Saved, the publisher said they didn't want to put these future events, they didn't want to put them in the book because some of them, which were written down in 1977 from the event from 1975, were getting ready to happen. And they thought that the book was really good, but they thought if those things didn't happen, then it would destroy sales. Well, here's what I told them. I said, let me tell you something. My whole point in my life is about that there is life after death, because that is the genuine single transformational point in a person's life, is that fact. Because, and how you're told that you're going to pass from this world never happens like that. After being a hospice volunteer for 48 years and watching more than 2,017 people go from this world to the next, there's not much a person's going to tell me about how and what happens when you leave this world. So I told him, I said, well, I'm not going to publish the book if I can't leave that in there. Because if that stuff comes true, and I can tell you now, everybody, every single one of these things have come true. If that stuff comes true, that just reinforces there's a life after death. It doesn't mean that I'm Nostradanian. It means that there's a life after death, which is what's important to me. So now all of them has come true. So the fact of what you're talking about and you're trying to bring forth in the energetic nature of the new process of better taking care of ourselves and to have self-control of stuff that's hidden from us and we're lied to about. I have lived 50 years in death and dying. And so what we're lied to about, people who listen to this broadcast need to listen to it more. They need to align themselves to the products, Emery, because nothing's going to stop this from coming into fruition. And the genius of wherever you got all this stuff, whether it's our interdimensional or extraterrestrial friends, I'm thankful. I had to discover it being dead and going through everything that dead people go through, but I'm just happy and I'm proud of you too.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. It means, Daniel, it means a lot when you say it, you know what I mean? And I really appreciate that. And we're going to be doing some amazing things together, putting our heads together because we're both on that same energetic level of consciousness to bring these things forward. And, you get it. We have these conversations and it's funny because I think I'm listening to myself talk. And
Well, but I mean, how do you? I was laughing to it last time we talked when you said, I get it. I understand this, but I only understand it because I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's not doing what you're doing. It's not my genius that's doing this. Like your genius is creating and bonding these products. Okay. Mine was that I have seen it happen. And so I watch it. So it's pretty nice to see who you can talk to and get some kind of response that's meaningful or sane, because this is the way we're going.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why I developed all this stuff and everyone on my team and colleagues, I see Dr. Sandra Michaels here. There you go. Hey, Sandra.
Oh, don't you love
There's
her,
the EES
Sandra?
system. She's on here too. She's just waving. We have everyone muted, Dannion, but a lot of people are on here listening. And the reason I developed this because I do know a little bit about the future. I'm not a psychic like that, but I'm just saying I know where it's going. It is going nano. It's going quantum. It's going electrical, and it's going biological. These are things we do have to always protect ourselves regardless moving forward because this vessel is needed to complete all of your missions that all of you have volunteered to be here.
But people need to pay close attention. You know what, Emery, too? People need to pay close attention to the EES systems.
Yes.
Because here is something that's been out there. Here's something that's been out there that's pieced together and pulled together and held together by Sandra through all kinds of stuff and brought it to so that everyday human beings can interact in an energetic field that she is generating for help people. And another thing that's going to happen in this time period is there going to be a lot of Johnny come latelys, knockoffs, people who are trying, and this is what people need to watch out for. Pay attention to what's been around a long time. And pay attention.
I agree with you, Danny, because I already had people trying to knock off my supplements and products. We already had one major company try to, they can't make it because it takes a very special device that I invented to make it. So I know they can't make it with the high voltage and magnets we use, but they are just labeling it, a nano blue supplement or whatever. And it's not. And it's actually terrible because the way they get their methylene blue has lead in it. So they're poisoning people. I'm staying out of it, because God will deal with all that. The other thing is, Dr. Sandra Michael Rose is on here. You guys can see those screens. She is on video. If you see her there, she's the blonde, and she's there with her daughter. And there they are. And
hey guys,
this system. Hey guys, it's welcome. I didn't know you guys were going to be here. I'm glad you guys are though.
Look how beautiful they are.
Yeah, this is our new studio. I don't know. I don't think you saw this yet.
Yeah, where's that at? Is that there at the compound or where?
No, this is a different, it's a different property. So we're not at our house right now. This is some of the cradle of life behind us.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love this. So
let's do an interview here with you. That'll be fun.
Yeah, no, we're definitely gonna do that. I would love to do that. There's so much to talk about. and I just love the system. I send all my patients there when they're not getting treated by our, when we do our 1 treatment, 2, 3 treatments, we always follow up with our patients and send them to the EES system. It's an amazing system. You should definitely check it out. What's the website there, Sandra, for everyone to check it out?
Okay. eesystem.com. It's like energy enhancement, system.com.
Yeah, check it out. There's definitely one in your area, and I highly recommend it. And
I did the same thing, Emery. I'm a big fan of this system because of the field that it generates. And one of the best things about this whole project is this. If people look at it and they pay attention to what the field is being generated, they see for the first time they're being co-responsible for the life they're now living. And in the course of that, you can improve your condition by sitting, meditating, and taking your trace minerals in one of these centers.
Absolutely.
If you want to get yourself in balance, what you need to do is you need to go get trace minerals, take your trace minerals, and find the closest center and go in and create you a program within it.
Right.
I'd like to say something.
I have everyone take the nano blue, an ounce of this before they get treated, because it raises the voltage. And we also have our patients hydrate before they do the EES system, because it works.
Always hydration.
It works so much better when the body's hydrated. It's at the right voltage.
I got a good one.
Same thing with our systems.
I got a really good thing to play on that. So we were doing some testing with Glenn Ryan when it comes to the minerals. So we were testing water, and I was like, why isn't the electrical conductivity going up as high as I thought it would? You know what we did? We used saline solution for the next test, and it was off the
salt
chart.
water.
Yeah, so if you don't have minerals in your body, your conductivity is not going to be as high as it could be.
or your electrolytes.
Yeah.
The electrolytes.
Salt stabilize electrolytes.
Lights things up.
Yeah, the secret, because this has orbis in it, orbitally rearranged monoatomic elements, and that's made from sea salt. So palladium and all these amazing iridium, all these amazing minerals that you're born with, but you don't get it in any food or water or anything unless you're drinking, 100,000 gallons of seawater every year, because it takes hundreds, thousands of gallons of seawater just to make, 1 liter of ormus. It's a very intense process. So orbitally rearranged monatomic elements what that's in the products. And like Michael Scalar just said, a little pinch of salt would have done the same thing too. We want to raise that voltage up, because we found out through scalar photometry and other energetic things that we do, the body receives it better because it's at that level of voltage, 37 volts, that is so happy, and 33, 37. And it's so happy that it allows the body to accept the frequencies, because you have so many things in your body blocking your pineal gland. And that's the other thing. We have a special zeolite in here that decalcifies and reduces adhesions in the body. So we'll talk about that in a second, Glenn. And
but Emery, if you have 37%, that 37% voltage, that means you're bouncing off of pH balancing at the same time.
Yeah, the pH balance, we want to keep a good pH. I know
when you're at 37 volts, at 36, 37, 38 volts, you're harboring in the pH range right there.
Yes.
People need to understand that. By using proper pH, by paying attention to your pH, your trace minerals, the stuff that you use, especially to transport oxygen, your blue liquid transporting oxygen, and getting into the center program, getting into this field of energy, you're automatically reprogramming yourself. And I'll add one other thing to this, everybody. Remember, December 21st, 2012, we birthed into a new age. Is what the Maya say. That means we'd be in the 14th year of a new age. The new energetics, that means the programming of what Sandra's doing, what you're doing, what I'm doing, is going to work far more effective because we're in this new energetic paradigm. And
Yeah,
the
I
other
agree.
thing too, please everybody, there's going to be many a fakes that's going to come, many a knockoffs, many a liars. Please do your homework. Please.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with the EES system, if it doesn't say EES system and they're not throwing around Dr. Sandra Michael Rose's name, do not fall for it. There's so many knockoffs out there, and knockoffs that we know are coming out. And it's really sad because it's really negligent that these charlatans out there will, piggyback off of Dr. Sandra Michael Rose or myself or Dannion and, watch a couple videos of us or something and then go online and say they're the expert, make a website and, make a little Christmas tree in a cardboard box and try to sell it to you. It's really sad. And, if you have any questions about that, you can always write into cosmicmarket3@gmail.com. And I will verify for you if it's an official EES system and forward you to the people over at the EES system that Dr. Sandra Michael Rose and Michael Scalar has over there to deal with that. We don't tolerate this backstabbing, going behind our people's backs. People are getting food coloring from the store and putting it in water and selling it saying it's methylene blue water. It's really sad. And these people are getting shut down, which is good. All of our stuff is tested. It's done in a sterile environment and, by the right way. It's just sad that these things are. So just warning, you're going to see things out there. You really got to do, you might think you're saving $10 or you might be saving $100, but you're really damaging your body, hurting yourself. I mean,
you're not accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
And all of us have to be really smart about taking care of ourselves, because just like what you're saying, Emery, this stuff is going to start to be used against us. It'll be energetic warfare. Yeah. Part of what the medallions do, the medallions that come with, that Michael and May and San put together, is to help block, to keep you connected to others' programs and to keep you connected to other centers that have the field going all the time. Because we must shield ourselves, everybody. It is electricity. It'll be electrical is what they use against us. It'll be electrical, so we have to be mindful of that. But here's where I am. It is snowing like heck here, and I have to change clothes, Emery. I have to put on this tuck. Yeah. But I'm going to Kennedy first.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Kennedy first. Yep. Before I go to South Carolina. So what I want to do is to come back on as soon and do a follow-up on the Make America Healthy again.
Yeah.
And keep continuing on and looking at us electrically.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be really excited to hear the follow-up and all your experiences, but maybe we'll put you on next week or the week after and we'll get the update for everything, because I know you're doing some groundbreaking stuff there by introducing everything. And, we all are supporting you, Dannion. You're in our prayers and we love you. And thanks for coming on the show. And
no, anytime. I want people to be able to find their way. People have to find their way, and they have to learn about being energetically spiritual beings, and have to figure out what is the right stuff to do at the right time to do it. And this is it, everybody. We either find and get a hold of our lives again, or we don't.
Right.
So I love everybody. I appreciate everybody. San, May, Michael, love you. And everybody that's listening to this program, I love you. And
Dannion, how can they get a hold of you? What you have a website?
Go to Dannion.com.
What's it called?
Dannion, DANNION.com.
There you go. Check it out.
You want to contribute, learn about his project, his foundation. Everybody, please support Dannion's work. Please support where he's going with that. Dannion.com.
Yep, he's got a lot of projects. You guys can donate.
It's about veterans. It's bringing veterans into a healthy, energetic, electrical paradigm for healing. You cannot drug someone to safety.
Cannot. That's right. Thank you, Dannion.
All right, love you guys.
Love you, man.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. He's such a wonderful guy. I'm so glad we're working together this year. It's so much fun. The conversations we have are just beautiful, forthcoming, truthful. You know, it's definitely a coming to Jesus because there's no art of deception whatsoever. And it's great that you have a team that doesn't work with us. That Jedi stuff doesn't work on us. So we see through all the bullshit that's out there, including big pharma and the politicians and stuff. And we work with people that want to work with us. We're not here to convince anyone of anything, but we will find the right people, and those people do come to us. And, you know, I think it's a beautiful thing out there. You all should be manifesting that type of environment for yourselves. I would like all of you to drop those blood suckers and those energy suckers that are around you that are not serving you at all. And it is a big jump you have to do, and surround yourself with people that support you and lift you up on a higher pedestal and that want to work together. And, you know, everyone has their own views. That's great. Like I said, well, I think, let me see here. Hold on. But yeah, so I love what he said. And if you have any questions, you know, you guys can ask it over here on the side. But I'm going to put Dr. Sandra Michael Rose on for a second because I want to talk about some of the technology. If you can, Cameron, maybe unmute her and put her on my screen for a second so I can see her. I see her.
We're here.
I see everybody. Okay.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
so Sandra, yeah, I can't wait to come over there and check that little thing out. I mean, it's definitely going to be in our new clinic that we have. I'm definitely going to have more of those units than anyone else because I'm that narcissistic, cocky clinician. Because
Well,
I
we
can't
have a
stand.
new
Who has the one
60
that's
unit
220?
system.
Is there a 220? What is there?
We have a new 60 unit system just installed yesterday or today in Ireland.
There's a project.
Oh my gosh.
8 going into Mumbai potentially.
Oh,
So
That's too small.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go way bigger. I'm like Michael. I go big or I don't go at all.
Like your dogs.
Like the dogs.
I can't wait to work with you on the product too and what we can do to
Yeah, I'm
enhance
gonna
that.
definitely set you guys up with that once I educate you and Michael and the team there, because this is something that's right up your alley. We've proven the electrical output of the body before and after this, especially after.
Let's do some of that research with our technology with you.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah, let's do a white paper on it. That'd be great. Definitely all for that. I love doing white paper.
Yeah, because we can do the before and after with your product, before and after in the system, and before and after without your product in the system too. Yeah,
and what we'll be doing is also testing the hydration of the patient before and after, because I'm big on hydration when we're treating patients. And, you know, I tell them when they do your system to have the water bottle nearby of nano blue or whatever, emerald green, and just sip it the whole time while you're there to keep that electrical activity up. You know, already done tests on patients where I'm doing it before, during, and after with our systems that we use, which are not like your systems, of course. It's totally different. Uh-oh, we have an infiltrate. Okay, guys. That's for those of you. Hey, so for those of you, come here. B2. I did. Hey.
You're the puppies?
So for those of you who do not know R2B2, this is B2.
Hi.
B2.
He's a handsome boy.
Trying to drink my nano boy. Get out of here.
It's just a puppy.
All right. So R2B2 are Cane Corsos. I have them trained to sniff out viruses, bacteria, and parasites. They've up to about 40 of them right now, and we're going to continue to do that for future. In the projects, we had dogs that would smell you before you go into these compartmentalized areas, because they don't want anyone coming in with some sort of pathogen, and infect another employee, or hey, come on. another employee, or let's say cross-contaminate a sample that we're testing on these extraterrestrials. So I found that fascinating. So in the future, we're going to have animals that'll be working with us that will be worldwide, and people will be buying these animals for their homes, where they can smell all the different viruses, bacteria, and parasites. I can elaborate how we do that, probably on another episode, because a lot of people are like, how do you get them to smell that? And the way we do that is we can get the frequency of, and it's not all smell, it's actually frequency. We can actually entrain and bioimprint some sterile water with a, let's say, streptococcus. And that has a frequency and a smell to it that we can't smell or feel, but dogs can. And then they can signal us many different signals to let us know what it is. So that's how we do it. And that's some of the things we're working on. But go ahead, Sandra. So let's tell everyone, let's just get simple. And then what is the EES system? I mean, tell us.
Okay. Technology to heal the world, essentially.
Right. But yeah, it is. And I love it because it's scalar. And I used to train under Tom Bearden, and it's great to know.
Yeah, you're an authority then on knowing about scalar. So is Dannion, by the way. He went to Russia with all the psychotronic stuff and studied scalar as well. I've known him over 40 years myself. Right. We met in Egypt at the pyramid. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we'll have to do a round table or something. It'd be fun.
Oh, no, definitely. I would love to do that. I'm trying to get a lot of people together maybe this summer and do something like that.
Yeah.
So this system puts out this scalar energy, and which heals the body. There's many testimonials on her page. Go check it out. And what you do is you go to these centers, and they usually have like some sort of zero gravity chair, and you lay down for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or even overnight. And you get, basically zapped with these scalar energies that are really beneficial to the body. You can look up online and find more information about it, but I definitely recommend wherever you're at, type it in. You can search where they're at and figure it out. Just make sure it is an EES system and not something else.
All of our locations are listed on our website. Easy to find. There's locations page.
There's about 700 locations. eesystem.com. We're in over 60 countries. Nigeria just went in.
Dubai.
Who was it today you were talking about wanted to go in? What country? Bosnia.
There's already one there, actually, but yeah.
There's already one in Bosnia, even. So South Africa, all over.
And the effects are cumulative. So one time in, you might notice a little bit of something, but over time, it really is where you see a lot of the results. Mm-hmm. They do come in different sizes too. There might be 12 units, 16, 24, etc. The greater the number of units, the stronger.
Yeah, I mean, to answer what the technology is, it generates a bioactive field of energy that allows for cellular regeneration, increases electrical conductivity on a cellular level. And I was mentioning about the having the right minerals in your blood. So we took distilled water, and the electrical charge in our system, it wasn't doing very much. And I'm just like, well, how do we mimic blood? And I'm like, all right, let's throw some salt in there. And all of a sudden, the conductivity was over 20% in a normal system. Then we have our hypercharger. So that was the primary thing, as we were looking at the efficacy of our hypercharger, because that came into question. And we bumped all the way up to 51%. So more than double of a normal system.
But speaking of salt, one of the best things to do after being in the system is doing the detox baths.
Yeah, the detox salt bath. You know how well those work, Emery.
Yeah, you definitely, Michael has a really great salt supplement out there for the bath. I really love it. It's, I have one too, but I'm not in competition with them. I'll tell you, this is something you have to do when you get done with the EES system, is to go home, grab this salt from them that Michael has invented, and put it in your tub and get the rest of the toxins out, because you don't want those toxins, circulating in the body. You don't want them sitting on your skin if you sweat, because it'll go back in. And these baths are made to neutralize all that stuff. And get it out of your system. And, it is kind of a transformation of the energies, of the frequencies of the toxins. And it's also important to really drink a lot of water, no matter what. Anyway, you should be drinking a lot of water. Of course, no sugars and sodas and juices. There's just too much in there. And get on to that safe, healthy habit, especially if you have cancer. We have special diets. I know Sandra has this amazing elixir. I love it. I don't know if we're allowed to share my class.
My magic formula.
I probably shouldn't even say it. I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, you got the magic formula. We do share that.
I'll
But
try
yeah,
to
when the
find-
body has the charge, it wants to discharge everything that doesn't belong. And that's where the salt bath, toxins are positive charge, the salt's a negative charge. It really works with the charge through the body. Nothing does what that salt bath does, because the skin is the largest organ of elimination. Gives give your body the energy to heal itself.
Prepackaged ones are fine, but as long as it's 2 cups of any natural sea salt and 2 cups of baking soda, that's a good start. Of something you can pick up almost anywhere. Just don't do Epsom salt and don't do iodized table salt. Those are no-nos.
That's right.
I'm
so glad you said that. Yeah, most people don't know that. Yeah, don't stay away from that. And but you can do what she said. It's an excellent thing. When I run out of all my stuff, that's exactly what I do. I'll go grab my food Himalayan salt out of the cabinet. And Darla's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm out of salt. I'm dumping this in the bathtub." I grab that thing of baking soda that I keep the refrigerator smelling nice. I dump that in there. This is when it gets rough. You're in a hurricane in Florida. You're out for 7 days. You got to do something.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it's one of those things that works. Almost nothing does what that does. It's the best.
Old technology, simple old technology, salt.
Yeah. There is a transmutation process in the salt baths that we're talking about. That's important to understand, because you're transmuting frequency and energy that your body, number one, is trying to get rid of the negative energy. And then you put this out there and it kind of absorbs it and transmutes it. So it won't be, you're not sitting in a bath full of toxins, what I'm saying, believe it or not. We tested the bath water too. So
yeah, we'll have to do more testing.
It's interesting
with the current releases of the bio weapons. Let's do some testing with the bath water and people that have been experiencing problems.
Have you heard, Sandra or Michael, anything recently that people should be aware of with the new attacks and some of the bioweapons coming out, or you don't know anything?
I got a good one. So everyone's been getting sick and throwing the kitchen sink at it.
Yep.
And I figured this out quicker than anyone else. So I'm going to give you guys the hack.
Yes.
The new viruses are extremely heat sensitive. Get in an infrared sauna. I swear to God, I woke up in the morning, body aches and pain on this last one. And 30 minutes later, I walk out, I'm like, oh my God, it's super heat sensitive. So far infrared sauna is really counter for all the new stuff coming out, or at least the recent one.
Yeah, a lot
and
of,
it's a hot salt bath.
Or the real hot salt bath.
Yeah.
But ideally you get in the sauna and start pushing it and then get in the salt bath.
Directions to 6410 Arlington Boulevard.
We got Dannion on here. Dannion, we got you talking to President Trump there. You're live.
But I'd say, all of the guys in our office, they had the same thing. They couldn't kick it. And Michael's like, get in the sauna, get in the sauna. They finally did it. And they're like, oh my God, I feel amazing.
Called me from the sauna. I can breathe. I'm like, I've been telling you for 3 days to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. It goes back to the old story here where, we are working with these viruses, bacteria, and parasites. And the reason you have a fever, as everyone knows here, is you heat the body up and you cannot, believe it or not, they can't survive at a certain temperature. So what we did is I designed a device specifically for COVID when it came out. And it wasn't my invention. I just helped make it better. This is like number 3 on the prototypes, and they're in mass production here. You can look it up right there. So what I did is I made a quantum foot bath. There's no water. You put your feet on it, and it sends a radio frequency up through your body. So you do your nano blue, you sit on it for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And there's different temperatures. And these radio frequencies go up through your feet into the body, heat the body up to certain temperatures for certain things. So we've cured the spike protein for all COVID patients that have the spike protein in 2 days and with just doing 10-minute intervals. Gone with the blood test, out. So if you work with people that have had the COVID inoculations and you're shedding, we've already seen people that have, let's say one person in the family didn't get it, everyone else in the family got it, they still have the spike protein in them. It definitely sheds. We've proven this over and over for millions of years, not millions of years, but many years, about how energy can be shifted in water into another body. They're using the nanotechnology for that. So I put it there on the messaging. I don't know if it come up. So it's called the quantum foot bath. Oh, thank you, Cameron. That's the quantum foot bath. And you do get a 1000 ml nano blue with that, because you'll take an ounce of that before you go on. And there's different temperature ratings for different types of diseases. So it not only, kills these spike proteins, it not only, eliminates, the COVID, but it eliminates pretty much most parasites and viruses over time. So this is also great for circulation. For those of you that need some circulation, that have circulation issues, peripheral artery disease, or if you have wounds that you're trying to heal on the body, this stuff will, the radio frequency heats up the whole body. So you could actually put your feet on it, but you'll feel it in your hip. And it's not hot to the touch, of course, because it's radio frequency. So we have these different types of energies going into the body and stimulating the cells and the body into a certain temperature that we know kills parasites, bacteria, and viruses. So this is another thing, for those of you that you can use it on your whole family. It's very portable. You can take it with you when you travel. We do, just because, we take everything with us. We're walking clinic, Darla and I, when we travel places, and just in case, and it's great because we treat people and our friends and family, and it really works amazing. So read up on that. If it's something you're interested in, you can order it at emerysmith.co at the Cosmic Market shop. Radio frequency is a great thing. It's very safe and effective, and it's been proven over and over and over. We just made it into a very small package here, and this is something you could do every day, 3 times a week. If you're around people, it's really good to do as soon as you get back from a trip, and add that to your salt bath and your EES system and your nano blue and your nano emerald green. And
it takes a lot in the times we're living in. We're living in such an extermination project of a toxic soup that it takes everything. We were on with your friend Dr. H.
Dr.
I
H.
remember we were talking about the extreme radiation poisoning that
let's see if Dr. H is available, because he has an update. There's certain things I can't say with Dr. H. Dr. H is one of our docs on our classified team. He just recently this year, I think, spoke on my phone to the public. But I'm going to call him because I have some questions that you guys are going to want to hear about it. And he deals with all the nuclear radiation around the planet.
Right. And nothing really counters radiation, because that's what I grew up with my mother fissioning plutonium. Nothing counters radiation issues better than this technology. But I also want to remind everybody you should be taking iodine every day, and also put it on the thyroid, put it on the chest. Put it where,
Cameron, can you put up my Nanodyne on the Cosmic Market so I can show them what that is? So what I did, I developed an iodine nanoparticleized, and of course 0.02 parts per million, because if it's not that small, you can't get it through the blood-brain barrier, and you can't get it into the DNA, RNA, and chromosomes. So my scan, when we scan you to figure out what's going on, we also go into your DNA, RNA, and chromosomes and say, well, is this something that's, you just got, maybe it was passed on, or maybe you picked it up from somebody. So we actually know when you got it. We also know how long it's been in your body. So this system that I developed, can't wait to show you guys, Sandra and the team there. So we have a nebulizing solution, so that you can get these $50 handheld nebulizers from Amazon, And
Yeah.
you take 5 cc's of that nanodyne nebulizing solution and breathe that. You
Yeah,
know,
that'll work fantastic for
yeah,
nebulizing that iodine, nano iodine.
yeah, it's
That'll knock out
amazing.
just about anything. There's
Yeah,
no,
I wish I
yeah,
knew
that's
Michael was sick because I would,
fantastic.
if I knew Michael was sick, I would have sent that over immediately. You know, we get stuff, we pick up stuff all the time. We see sick patients all day long, all year long. Of course, we're going to get something. Anytime, you know, anyone gets sick, we have them just do the nebulization. Usually the next day they're feeling fine, they're better, but we usually have them on it for a week to keep it away. And then I have the Nanodyne 1000 where you can actually take an ounce of that orally every day. And that will definitely clean you out of all bacteria, parasites, and viruses, depending on, you know, the severity of your situation, which you can always write in at cosmicmarket3@gmail to ask a question, you know, and we will, you know, see what's going on, give you a little interview and see what, you know, what you really have. So this nano iodine is a breakthrough. No one's ever done it before. It's very, very small particulate matter that can go everywhere, and the body loves it. And guess what? It definitely neutralizes a lot of the radiation and protects your thyroid, which is the most important thing during a fallout. This is in all of our go bags. So all my team has these go bags, and we have this nanodyne in there. There's also other pills we use called ThyroSafe for you know, for other.
I think it's important to note too with iodine too, you kind of need to hit a saturation point if you're trying to knock something out. So you have to take it repeatedly.
Yeah.
Because it won't saturate through the whole system. And so we'll just say it doesn't go all the way down to your leg and you got a viral load sitting in there. You got to redose so that it goes through the whole system and actually kills everything. Because these new self-replicating viruses, they're no joke. They like to just stick around as long as possible.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It's something like the parasites too that we deal with, and bacteria and viruses, you know, I have a few places around the planet using my system that, you know, you can't go to a Quest laboratory here and get a blood test and show the funguses and molds and parasites that we can show. They don't even have it on there. They only have North America, South America viruses, parasites, and bacteria. We have worldwide, and it gets updated every month. We all mail each other these hard drives with the updated mutated COVID staff, whatever it is they're making. And it's really cool to see how they're bioengineering these critters to kill us. And, you know, Darla and I, every day we're seeing new stuff, especially since the gates opened in Mexico when we had all this influx of immigrants. We've seen so many different diseases and parasites, bacteria, and viruses that were never here, that we've never actually even seen. You know, some people travel a lot and they get back and we say, hey, you know, you got this virus from Africa, or you got this.
Or how about from that latest drop of that so-called fog, you know, or whatever, that weird fog that people were getting sick from?
Yeah.
Yeah, that and that got analyzed as a pathogen that was a relative of the Black Plague. It's like a parasite as well. I forget the name of it right now, but
yeah, I know. I was trying to think what it was, Sandra. I read the article you sent me. That was very compelling.
Yeah. So you know what I mean, the analysis of that. Again, it's another kind of parasite. So get in the technology. I mean, our technology works fantastic for any of these radiological attacks that we're under, and for, you know, clearing that, but also that, you know,
Iodine.
nebulizing that
That's great.
iodine and taking it orally, an ounce a day of yours. That's fantastic for continuing, because there's no pathogen really resistant to it,
Well,
especially with the energetics.
When they're throwing the kitchen sink at you, you better take the other kitchen sink.
Right. That's right. Yeah, so definitely I see a private label coming for you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to do it. Like, I've been studying all this with your system, and all this stuff enhances what you guys have invented and developed, and it all works hand in hand, and you guys get it. That's great. I see Michael's eyes opening up.
You owe me a bottle of this iodine. I'm an iodine snob. I want to try this. I didn't even know you had
it. You got it. No problem. I'll make you a big care package. You can come pick it up today. All right. So what else was I going to say? Oh, I was going to call Dr. H. Yeah. So let's see what Dr. H has to say here. We have, I think people are really going to want to hear this. Hey, Annie Lobert. She's like, oh my gosh, I love the EES system.
Oh, thank you.
Let me see
We
here.
love
Oh,
Annie.
Annie is she runs Hookers for Jesus. She goes to your place here. I mean, she goes to Dr. Stella's place,
Yeah.
and she's really a big advocate of all the stuff we do, and definitely check her out. Okay, Dr. H, let's see what you got to say here, Sandra. This is
Yeah.
going to be shocking for you guys to hear, but
If we
this,
can get him on, that'd be amazing.
this is the classified stuff. Let's see. Can you hear that? That ringing?
No.
No, okay. Hey, Dr. H.
Dr. One here, just saying hi here.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Emery.
Oh, hey. Can you talk?
Talk to a living human being. How are you?
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing good. I was just doing a little podcast here. I was wondering if I could send you a phone number and they can hear your voice because I wanted people to hear what you had to say about the new download with everything. You know what I mean? Can I text you an address? I'll give you the number. Hey, Cameron, what's the Cameron? Just text me the number so I can give it to Dr. H.
Yeah.
I'll text it to you, Dr. H.
Copy that.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, left. Dr. H. Oh my goodness. You guys gonna hear a whole mouthful here of things that's going on in the atmosphere and in the waters and in the earth that is affecting our health. So there's a whole war going on behind the scenes that many organizations and groups that have gotten together like ours to end it, because it's going to be a little problem. And the thing is, we do have all the technology to clean up the oceans, to clean up the aquifers and everything, but they're not allowing it to really.
We have everything to heal and fix and cure everything.
Yeah.
Advanced radiation remediation, advanced water remediation, which is key. Yeah, we have everything.
A lot of times the bureaucratic red tape, though, prevents them from even going into testing just because, oh, well, you need to sign this paper and you need to pass this. It's like, we just showed you it worked. Well, that doesn't matter. You're having a water shortage. It doesn't matter. Lunacy.
Yeah, it is lunacy, and it's going to change. I know. I think there's enough people around the world.
I think something happens tomorrow. Some big event that happens tomorrow. Where's my red hat?
Oh, the inauguration. Yes. Yep. And that's where, Dannion's going. Now he's on his way right there. I thought you were on, Sandra.
Make America healthy again.
Yeah.
He invited me to come, but it's too cold there.
Oh, Cameron, he's just going to call in on audio. Can I send him that one?
Yeah, you can send him here. I'll get you the one where you have multiple different ways of calling in. Okay.
Well, I just want him to call the number, no passcode. Can he just call that number?
Yeah. Let me send it to you. All right.
Okay, different one. Okay. Yeah, when we were testing nuclear bombs, of course, Nevada had the most nuclear tests ever, 350 or something.
Yeah.
And all around the world, China, everyone's been blowing up bombs, these nuclear bombs. Right now, right in front of you, in this little space in front of you, is pretty much every radioactive isotope from every nuclear bomb that's ever gone off. We can measure it in Antarctica. We can measure it in the Marianas Trench. We can measure it in Key West, Florida, New York, LA. It's still floating here. Is that safe? Well, none of it's safe. All radiation is bad. That's why we age. We have bad deuterium levels in all water, except for a couple places on the planet. These deuterium levels and these isotopes will degrade your DNA and RNA And the reason I developed a lot of this too is because it actually brings light. It has calentrazines in it from these lighted fish and jellyfish from the jellies down the Marias Trench. It's called calentrazines. So they have this light all the time in complete darkness. Not like a lightning bug, by the way, it's different. These luciferins are called luciferins, not Lucifer, luciferins is the proper term. And these calentrazines, they noticed the jellyfish were some of the first creatures here on the planet, and they live forever. And a lot of the lighted creatures down there that don't get UV light don't. So we were able to collect these calentrazines and make these calentrazines and put them into this. And there's no dark space anywhere, not even in a black hole. So I look at the body as a light body. Of course, I'm medically inclined to know everything physically about the body. It's just there's also another aspect of it. So this brings light into your DNA, RNA, and chromosomes, protects the nucleus, nucleolus, and the cellular membrane. It also boosts the mitochondria because the mitochondria needs that power for your body. And once that's protected, whether it's 24 hours or for the 30 days, your body transforms because now you're bringing light from here into the body and into your DNA. And we can take a blood sample and we can measure it after you take this, and you're giving off light, blue-green light.
So cool.
And
We
blue-green
should
light's
really
important.
do what a
ahead.
perfect combination with our technology, though, too.
It
Because
is.
we've shown quadrupled mitochondrial activity after 1 hour. So we've got that, but it's literally designed to activate the light at the core in your DNA. Imagine the combination of the shifts that we can, good shift can happen. We got good shift going.
We're gonna start glowing like a cuttlefish.
Yeah, you will. Well, when you drink this, like if you have a black light, like if you drink this and then go to a disco or a club and they have black lights, people are going to be looking at you a little weird.
Yeah.
And I'll demonstrate that if you want to see it.
New DJ gig.
This, if you shine a black light after someone drank this in their eyes are just emitting light.
I want to
So-
see this. That sounds so awesome.
So it is, and it's really pet safe. All my animals, of course, on the Nano Blue. We just do like an ounce of that, an ounce of emerald green into like a whole, gallon of water. My dogs have big stainless steel buckets of water we have, and they have that. So this is also for pets. We do a lot of my program too that I wrote is for also, I wrote a canine program. I wrote a feline program. I wrote an equine program. So we do horses, we do dogs, we do cats with these, with the nonlinear system that I developed for scanning to find out what they have too. Because what we found out, Sandra and Michael, was that when I treat one person in the family, and let's say they had, aspergillus, they had fungus, molds going rampant in their body and parasites. And after 30 days, they're zeroed out, they're clear, they're perfectly fine, cancer-free. And then 6 months later, they say, hey, we want to do like a rescan. And a lot of people like rescans. They come back, get a rescan, and all of a sudden, we can see the energy levels of the parasites, viruses, bacteria saying, uh-oh, they're starting to like come back. So we say, how many people do you live with? How many pets do you have? Where do you work? So all these factors, because if you have, a significant other or family members in your house.
Well, you're a product of your environment, and a lot of people forget that.
That's right.
If your environment is unhealthy, and that could be energetically, that could be mold, that could be dust particulate, could be air particulate from a fire, all these things. If you don't have a way to minimize your environmental impact, and man, mold is a bad one. We had a house that had mold in it. It was devastating how it affects everything in your body. And unfortunately, a lot of people are living with a lot of environmental impact factors, and they don't even think about it.
Yeah, we really want to do some research with you with that scan too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this stuff took us a lifetime to understand and develop. And, we were working with Russia and Germany and China. And when I was making this device, I was, basically purchasing frequencies from them. And the Rife machine was kind of one of the things, that's only like 40 frequencies though. We have 1.2 million. I got to brag about that. Yeah, we're the best. So the thing is, we can scan that and see like what specific it is, and they keep changing. So it's great that Germany, Russia, China, that they've been doing this, for a long time, studying frequencies. It's a little unfortunate how they were getting these frequencies, because they were using prisoners. They were using even
Inhumane ways, I get you.
Even in the war in Germany, where they were crucifying these Jewish people and all the camps, they were using all of them too and testing it. How far can we turn this frequency up to kill this pathogen on this person? Oops, they died. So there was a lot. The testing, a lot of people lost their lives, and it went into, I look at it as those people gave their lives so we today can save millions and millions and millions and billions of people with frequency, with sound, with light. So let's say if Dr. H, okay, here, Dr. H, use any US call-in number.
Dr. H is on board. Welcome, Dr. H.
Oh, Dr. H, how are you?
I'm on board here. I hope we're on a secure line, are we?
Yep, it's definitely secure in three different
Okay.
ways. And I'm looking at you on satellite here. Are you okay? How are things going over
Yeah,
there?
I'm telling you, I'm ground zero here in Los Angeles, and because of ground zero, I figured out a code for actually neutralizing dioxin like I did on the blue light code. So we made some major advances, and I figured out also how to neutralize some of the background energies that you wanted me to go over with the group, I guess.
Wow. Well, I don't, this is not this, this is, we have, I don't know, 60, 70 people here. I don't know how many people, but what we have is we do have a lot of scientists and other people. We have a lot of civilians too. So people are probably listening going, Emery, what language is that? Because it is very something that I want all of you to learn. So Dr. H, let's take it from the beginning with what just happened. Give us the update with what we just talked about the other day.
Okay.
And I'll ask you a question if it's above their head. And if you guys have any questions, just write it in over here and I will look at it and ask him if you don't understand any of the terminology. But it's definitely something I want you to hear. Dr. H, take it away. What'd you find?
All right. So basically, I've been involved in nuclear energy research from about 1970s. So one of the great doctors, MDs we had, his name was not Jordan Gutterman, John Goffman, MD from San Francisco, was on the Manhattan Project way back when, and we got together because I wanted to know how do you measure cumulative radiation in the body. Radiation is cumulative, and I'm going back to about 1969, 1970. John Goffman actually was a top-level physician for nuclear radiation, and eventually got to the point where he realized there's no safe containment of any radiation, and set up an organization called the Physicians for Nuclear Responsibility. And I think he was responsible for the pediatrician in Australia to basically block nuclear energies coming into Australia. That was a brilliant, wonderful soul. And so with that introduction, over the years, I've monitored radiation poisoning globally and figuring out how to measure it, how to antidote it, et cetera, et cetera. So I talked to Emery just more recently. I think let's go back more recently because we worked with the Fukushima radiation, Chernobyl radiation, how to antidote it both nutritionally and energetically. Figured out a way of doing a mathematical code to actually deprogram the radiation in the body besides using physical modalities that are classical anti-radiation systems. And so what happened on December 5th of this past year is that there was a earthquake off of California, Northern California, the Pacific Ocean, that was triggered on December 5th, triggering, I believe, a 7.1 or 7.2 magnitude earthquake off the shelf of Northern California. I didn't think there were used to earthquakes over here, but we did have a tidal wave warning all the way up and down the coast of California. So I did not think anything about it at the time. The tidal wave warning was canceled about 12 noon. I warned some people in Malibu at that time, go to high ground. And so I then a couple of days passed, and I have about 5 different medical healing degrees, dental surgery degree, acupuncture degree, homeopathic medical degree, naturopathic degree, and I even studied with my Native American shaman. So I got a pretty good background in healing. And about within 2 days or so after that, I got a cluster of about 7 people, including 1 dog, that almost died. Now, my patient population is a little different than most. It's older soul beings that are very sensitive. So they are my radars, or my most sensitive instruments that tell me what's going on in the world in terms of poisoning, infection, and toxicity. So when I see a cluster of people almost dying, I used a technique that was about 30 years ago from a Swiss engineer who's had one of the highest security clearances in Switzerland for building the top secret installations. And he actually was like a mentor for me in some ways. So using my background, I figured out what he was doing, and he was using geometric form field effects with actually coils on the body to heal human beings and animals and et cetera. Any living being would be. And then he moved over from numeric form field, which would be going back to almost sacred geometry. He moved over into mathematic numeric code numbers to represent the form field. So one coil on the body would be the number 1, 2, 3. From him and his work and working with him, I was able to develop a algorithmic mathematical program to neutralize any poison, any allergy, any infection in the world. So when COVID came out back in 2019, I think I was the first case. I did the first case of COVID in November of 2009, even before it hit the United States. It was in Hong Kong. And I had a hot top level researcher there that worked in energetic healing like Emery does. And people were dying. He would shoot me a picture, and from the picture, I can intuitively, I'm also medical intuitive, I can intuit what was going on with them, what they had, and then figure out an antidote. And they both, the researcher in Hong Kong had a very, very high-end clinic in Hong Kong, and as his investor had entertained two Wuhan businessmen that came in. There was a 20 per person meeting in a lecture room, and they knew not to get near this person because of the COVID situations, because people were going to the hospital and dying. They wouldn't even touch hands or shake hands or get near him. After the meeting, they both got sick, and they could not figure out why. And his symptoms were very highly unusual. I think his tip of his nose started itching like crazy, and he started sneezing about 30 times. Now, they weren't even near the 2 Wuhan businessmen, and I told them, I said, it's airborne. So from that point, I was able to figure out a mathematical algorithmic code to neutralize the COVID virus. And was not just the virus, it was also fallout of radioactive plutonium airborne that occurred. So I found on COVID that was not just and I determined that the virus is also laboratory produced, man-made. It was not a naturally occurring virus, because as a homeopath for 30, 40 years, as homeopaths, we were treating viruses and stuff like that, or viral indices with homeopathy. So using, again, like I called homeopathy actually a quantum field medicine. They actually were able to treat the whole field with the right potency. So what happened was I was able to take care of about probably 800 COVID patients over that period of time.
Yeah.
They usually recovered within 2 days. Slowest was 4 days, no drugs, no medications, no hospitalization. I've actually took 2 patients that were on dialysis in New York and one in LA. One was a lawyer in LA here, and with one code, the next day they walked out of the ventilator. So I knew it worked, but I could not talk about it. This is the first time I'm talking to this group, and I'm very cautious about doing that because I set up a Senate bill in California and got tagged, like what Donald Trump, I got tagged by the deep state.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing that I'm going to share with you right now is December 5th, we got this explosion. I didn't think anything of it, and then the scuttlebutt in the community was, oh, the Russians, triggered off a nuclear device off the shelf to let America know that, hey, all the subs and Emery knows this, right? Emery, you're the one telling me about all this Wolfpack subs out in the Pacific.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's sad that these accidents, alleged accidents are happening, but go ahead.
Okay, well, anyway, so I still didn't think anything of it until I got all these people sick, and then I saw a report that they found a high spike of radiation in the northern Pacific, about 100 miles north of San Francisco in the Pacific Ocean. I said, oh my God, there was a nuclear, device set off, in under the ocean there. And when all these patients almost died over the many years in electroacupuncture diagnosis, we always could figure out what the poison was. And there was only one other time where I couldn't figure out the poison that was poisoning the patients where they almost died. It's usually plutonium or uranium that mostly kills people when they die acutely like that. But it did not show up. Plutonium uranium did not show up. And it perplexed me until about 5 days later, one of my patients, who was a super sensitive, and she's also a healer and a psychic, she said to me, I know this is radiation. I said, well, I'm not picking up uranium, plutonium. I said, it's not showing up. I know you got radiation poison, but I don't know what it is. I've never seen a pattern like this ever before. So then I went back to Fukushima because we treated many I lost two of my best friends to Fukushima. And I looked at the radiation fingerprint or signature of Fukushima. It was plutonium, uranium, tritium, reactive iodine, and cesium came up as the major signatures. Every nuclear accident has a specific fingerprint signature. So I went back to my patient, tested her on the, I knew she wasn't plutonium, I knew it wasn't uranium, so she showed a positive, lethal positive to reactive iodine and tritium, not cesium. And then so I figured out, so I went back to all the other patients before that, 4 or 5 days before that. Yep, they all had lethal doses of reactive iodine and tritium. So then now I knew what it was. And, but I've never seen in 30, 35 years of radiation research that signature ever show up in the world. Okay? So now I called up, this is why I called up Emery. I said, Emery, I have 4 or 5 people. By the way, all the patients that almost died, all recovered. Okay, just like all the COVID patients I did, all recovered. Not one went to hospital, not one died on my watch. So I said, Emery, I said, is there a weapon system that only does a signature of reactive iodine and tritium? And he said, yes. He said, yes, it's M1987. What was the number on that? You said, you gave me the actual number of it.
M1987.
M1987, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Sarah said, oh yeah, it says M1987. It's like a hydro tube weapon delivery system or something like that. What did you call it? Hydro tube or hydro something?
No, it's a hydrophilic weapon system. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when I interpret that to be, that means it can be discharged to a torpedo tube in the ocean. And I heard hydro water. I don't know.
That's when they had the submarine had the explosion, and of course they had the underground facility generator blew up at the place. Remember?
Yes. I remember that goes to the second phase of what we're going to talk about. The first phase was this specific weapon system that was unleashed underneath the Pacific Ocean there. So then from that point, then you went and told me, well, they're going to do another one next week. And then they're going to do another one on December 25th. And they're going to do another one on December 29th. And then you said they're going to do another one on January 12th. Do you remember telling me that?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I'm sharing with the group that we have confidential.
I wasn't going to, I don't want to put fear in everyone, but it comes out as a positive story. So please go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to hear the positive story because I know we're on an open line and you could not tell me why when I asked you about this, I said the Russians are doing this, right? And you said, no, we're doing it. And I said, and my first question was why. So I hope you can tell me why on this one, because I figured out my why and you can tell me your why. So then after that, about 2 or 3 weeks later, and if something, can I share with you what the Admiral
Uh,
told you? No.
yeah, go ahead. You guys
You want
ready
me
for
to
it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go. I'll give you the go, Dr. H. I'll sign
give me
off.
the go? Okay, because
Go.
I don't want to share anything that is
No, that's all right. Go
confidential.
ahead. I want them to know. That's why I'm
All
here.
right, you got to know this because our survival for our group is going to be dependent on having this information so you can antidote it. So what happened was all of a sudden I get another cluster of patients almost dying. Okay, I can't remember how many it was, but varied symptoms. But I mean, I have a certain code pattern that if this code pattern shows up, they could die or they're going to die.
Yeah.
So anyway, so again, it came out that this time it was not radiation related, but it was some type of chemical that I've never seen before. Could not figure out what it was. I usually can figure out what it was. It doesn't mean I can't treat it. I can treat anything. I don't even have to know the name of it, or I don't even have to know the name of the virus or the mycobacterium or the poison. All I do is have to have the right alphanumeric code to be able to neutralize the frequency of that poison or that infection. So anyway, I could not figure out for the life of me what this chemical was, but it was more toxic than even reactive iodine and tritium. More toxic. I've never seen a chemical, maybe dioxin. That's going to be next third one that we're going to go over, but never seen a chemical of this toxic nature ever before. I've been healing work for 40 years. So, I mean, I have a pretty good background in infections and toxins. And so what I do, I go to my good old buddy, Emery. I said, Emery, I said, I've had all these people almost die. I've coded them out. They're not going to die, but I can't figure out what this poison is. All I know is it's a chemical. Can't figure it out. And then all of a sudden, Emery says, "Yep." He says, "I just got a call yesterday or from two admirals, and they said there was a toxic release of a chemical. They didn't know the name of it, and that Emery was hired to figure out on his remote viewing his psychic ability or scientific, whatever you want to call what Emery can do, and would he figure it out what it is?" And then Emery tried and he couldn't figure it out either. So Emery told me, he says, "You try to figure it out, Doc, and I'll try to figure it out. If we figure out what it is, I'll get back to it." Ironically, one of our mutual friends, and can I talk about Doug or not talk about Doug?
Yeah, you can talk about Doug Ivanovich.
Okay. Well, Doug and I have known each other back 25 years, and I met him at the last meeting that Emery had in October in Vegas there. So anyway, so Doug had an investment partner of his that was actually manufacturing hydrogen-powered systems and adjuncts to automobiles, and they can convert an automobile to use hydrogen. They can build a manufacturing site that creates energy from hydrogen. So when I couldn't figure out what it was, and Emery did share with me that the technologies that were beneath the ocean there were hydrogen-powered. So I knew that maybe there was a hydrogen explosion accident. So then I went to figure out, I talked to Doug, who was in our group. And Doug, by the way, got hit with these poisons and almost died about 2 weeks ago. I had to bring Doug from death's door back to life again. So he got hit. So what happened was that this hydrogen concept, I went and asked uh, Doug to tell me about his friend and how do they produce hydrogen power. We had hydrogen beta test site in Los Angeles about 20, 30 years ago for buses and cars, and they had explosions, so they stopped doing it. So I said, how does a hydrogen system work? He said, well, they use 100 parts of water to 1 part of a hydrocarbon, primer, which would
Right.
probably, I don't know, what do you know what is it gasoline or is it diesel or what's their primer to ignite the hydrogen? Do you know? Emery?
They're using celadane. It's the stuff we use for our
It's a hydrocarbon product though, right?
yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
what we use in our blowtorches.
yeah, it's ignite just like in nuclear fission or hydrogen bomb, you have uranium as the substrate and you use plutonium as the trigger, the heat trigger, because it burns
Right.
hotter.
Yeah.
Or like in dynamite, you have dynamite, then you have the so-called blasting cap that ignites the dynamite. Or in what they call C4, right? You have C4, and then you have to put in a trigger in there to ignite it. So apparently, then I figured, oh my God! So to make hydrogen power, they have to go ahead and use a hydrocarbon chemical primer.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, and this is just my opinion. I think that they had, and your military admiral said there was an incident that happened. They didn't use the word accident. They looked very good. They used the word incident that happened. And that incident, I do believe, produced an explosion that then created a new hydrocarbon chemical that was more toxic than any nuclear material that we had. And that is also spiking around the world. So now we got
And let them know, Dr. H, that even though this happened thousands and thousands of feet below the surface, this hydrocarbon sifted through the water to the surface of the ocean, spread out, and then went into an aerosol.
Yes. Yes, and let me go over that. So then we'll go over the fact that on the radioactive tritium and iodine that released there, that also came up from the ocean and get into the surface of the ocean. It was right in the jet stream, which is between Northern California, Washington, Oregon, is where the jet stream comes off the Pacific and carries across the whole United States and the world.
Pay attention, Jude and Lynn. It came right to you guys first. I got a couple from Washington.
Okay, so I have three people now monitored. One in Hong Kong, and two people actually in Hawaii, and one person in Tokyo right now. That I found the positive imprint on all these three toxins that went around, on the jet stream. Now, what was brilliant about this, and I hope you can tell me why they did this, because what I learned from Fukushima, treating all these patients with radiation points from Fukushima, when they released the reactive cesium from the cooling off of the plutonium rods in Fukushima, what they did was they went ahead and as it came to the ocean, I thought, God, the cesium is going to kill every living life form in the Pacific Ocean because they had nowhere to dump it anymore. And what the beautiful thing that the ocean did is it surrounded the radioactive isotopes with the buckyball carbon-based structure that shielded it or insulated it, or like put fat around it, put a carbon buckyball structure around it. I think that made it less harmful until it got ingested, and then maybe the buckyball structure, broke off, and then it poisoned you. Because the first actually animals that got the cesium on the West Coast here was actually tuna in San Diego. So what happened was that, okay. So now what I figured, and I thought this was intentionally designed, because if you want to wipe out a population, one of the fastest way to do it is destroy the thyroid. So the radioactive iodine is now destroying the thyroids of everyone across the United States and across the world. Okay, that's why, and it's shielded some way, I think, by this carbon buckyball structure. Because tell me something, why haven't then there a major alert when this radioactive iodine tritium got released into the jet stream? Why is it not being picked up by our sensing? I know it is somewhere, but do you want to know why, Emery? I mean, you're the one who's...
Well, what they did was, they can neutralize that. Sorry, Dr. Sandra. They can neutralize that with a scalar weapon and the neutrino light detectors too that we have on the satellite. So we can send a signal out, so the devices that we normally have that would pick that up will not pick it up. So it's kind of like they're cloaking what's going on because they don't want the whole world and the United Nations know that there was an incident. This stuff that's floating around the atmosphere is deadly. It kills thousands and thousands of people. And in the next 10 years, I estimate, what was my algorithm? How many people did I say? I don't have my
No, you said I thought you said the analysts say between 1 and 2 billion people will die in the next year to 2 years from this, just from the chemical toxin. I'm not talking about all the other stuff. The
Right. No. I'm just specifically when I did the algorithm, how it's the jet stream and how many people are already infected at this rate. We're talking about 1 billion people in the next 2 years, and it could be definitely affecting the elderly, the immune compromised, infants, children. So it's a really nasty one that was launched and released. And that's, another reason why we have these products, because it also blocks radioactive isotopes as well. Yes,
Okay,
go ahead,
so
Dr. H. Thanks.
okay, so let me those that you have, you have this hydrocarbon toxin, the most toxic hydro element I've ever measured, more toxic than the radioactive iodine and the tritium, which is really toxic in itself, knocking out and destroying thyroids, and the tritium is almost, I think the tritium is a substitute for calcium. It may go into the bone. I can't remember now, but really toxic. Then what happened was that a week or so ago, 10 days ago, we had the fires in LA. Okay, the fires in LA all of a sudden released tremendous amounts of toxins in Southern California initially. And I mean I had to leave my house because there was a toxic smell plume that came in and fused house, and I had to abandon my house for about 5 or 6 hours to let it go. But it was so toxic, and then I realized, oh my God! I mean, I've been treating fire toxicities now for over 30-something years in Malibu and all the fires that we had here. So fires are not anything new to me, but this particular fire and the loss of the number of houses. And what I found out is, and I just talked to a fire captain I just met the other day outside my office, and we were talking. And apparently, like I said, forest fires produce benzene, toluene, and formaldehyde, and hydrogen cyanide, I mean, toxic in the forest. But the real toxicity comes in when houses are burned, buildings are burned, 9/11 and whatnot, where they have all these plastics and chemicals and heavy metals. And the big one, and I'm using this as my marker, is dioxin. And
Dioxin.
I remember a long time in the 70s, so they're talking about these dump sites had dioxin in there, and they were dumping some kind of, I guess, were they communication systems that were like what do they call them, transformer boxes or something? Do you know about the dioxin toxins in the early 70s or 80s, when I don't know if they're pulling the boxes out and burying them, but we had, and dioxin is a really interesting compound because I really learned a lot about in this. And when we have tragedies or catastrophes like this, we just had in LA, or Fukushima, or Chernobyl, or when you look at major catastrophe, or maybe Valdez oil spill, or maybe the Caribbean, I mean, the Gulf Coast oil spill. When you have
Right.
tragedies like this is where we learn. And I really learned the significance of dioxin. Dioxin, there's no safe level of dioxin, and millions of a gram gives you cancer, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're
No,
the one,
it's
you're the
terrible.
expert, you're the
And
scientific expert.
yeah,
And there's no antidote for it.
no, it's
There's
90%. It's in 90% of the food. I mean, it's in a lot of places, and you're getting these small amounts, and it builds up. And
Yeah.
like Dr. H says, this is a very, very big problem here on planet Earth. And
Well,
we're
the big one that we had was that West Palestine dioxin contamination when that rail and derailed over there in Ohio, and it poisoned. I had to treat patients all over to New York. It poisoned Ohio, Pennsylvania,
yeah,
Virginia, West Virginia, New York, all the way. And then, like I said, then that actually goes globally, and it poisons the water, the agriculture, and humans. And there's no antidote for it. So I, I think I figured out an antidote for it, Emery.
yeah, I've been testing your stuff, by the way, and
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
Well, I think it was Mike M's health ranger talked about the dioxin toxicity, and he's right that it may have poisoned all our food sources in California, maybe out to Arizona. And if they ever did a dioxin analysis of the food and the soil and the water, we may be so contaminated that we may not, we may not even have food sources now. So we'll
Right.
see what happens.
Yeah, we'll
But
see what happens. I got my feelers out. I have a lot of people
Good.
looking into it. So, we'll sit back and wait.
Okay.
I'm working on another supplement too, but I'll definitely get with you later tonight.
Well, I'm using your zinc blue. I'm just pulling it out and using that. It tests out really good. But anyway, so we have 4 identified toxins: radioactive iodine, tritium, the hydrocarbon toxin, and now we have dioxin and all the other heavy metals and poisons. But the dioxin is the one that is really of concern because it's gone around the world. I mean, we have the whole world poisoned right now. And I was telling Emery about, I was trying to prepare my patients basically to be able to prepare for the release of the so-called weaponized viruses or bacterium or mycobacterium or mycotic, whatever it is that they have in their so-called quiver. And you can maybe share on that if you have any information on that, Emery, as they said, but 2 or 3 people have said after the 21st of January was we're going to unload and create another pandemic. Any info on that?
Yeah, no, sure. But real quick, just so everyone knows, those dioxins, especially with the fires over here, plastics that have chlorine that, are burned, that is what comes out as dioxins.
Yeah.
So, and it's not, anyone that's burning that anywhere in their backyard, even, it's a big thing over in Asia because people just burn stuff all day long.
Yes.
It's all over. And third world countries where it's not like, you don't have someone pick up your trash, of course, everything's burned and buried. So it's the worst thing. We're just contaminating our planet and our aquifers and stuff. Okay, so back to the question. What was the question, Dr. H?
No, I was just saying, do you have the information on the potential release of some of the weaponized infections, in the next month or 2 months, or maybe even after next
Oh,
week?
sure. Yeah, so of course, they're always making different forms of viruses, bacteria, and parasites, and they're always trying to mutate ones or make hybrid ones with viruses and bacteria and parasites that we already have. So this is an ongoing thing, and they try to every now and then do a launch of, like now it's RSV inoculations. You need to get an RSV inoculation. Oh, now you have to get this special type of flu inoculation. Stay away from the inoculations, number one.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get too much in it because I will probably make this public down the road. And a lot of my videos that I put on YouTube from these little podcasts, they take them right off. So I'm glad you guys are here and listening to this, and because I can't always get it out there to everyone because they'll release it. Since this is private, I'm allowed to talk and say whatever I want. So these different types of viruses that they're these designer viruses, we call them, are usually made or invented here in the United States, and then we'll find a third world country or another country and set up shop and have that country contracted out to do the testing just in case it gets launched. Now, the other part to that is that if there are terrorist groups, I've seen viruses be sold on the market, in the clandestine market, the market, where they'll make a virus and they'll present it to like Russia and say, look at this virus. It's a biological weapon. Here's our algorithm and our computer generated synapse. If you release this virus here in, let's say, New York, this is how fast it'll, carry on to, wherever, and how fast it'll go across the United States. So what they're doing too is they're making it lineage based now. So they have viruses for certain lineages, which is very interesting because of the people behind this. It's just very interesting that they're still able to, get the genetic structure, the RNA, DNA of certain individuals, and they can target those people. That's kind of scary, of course. And there always is, when they develop a virus, they always already have a cure for it. So they never make something and throw it out there. They, just like HIV, the same time they made HIV, they also made the cure for it at the same time. I met the guy who invented HIV. I met the guy who cured HIV, these two scientists. So that's like part of the thing. There are antidotes to these things. And then the other thing is to make sure everyone gets an inoculation for the new virus, parasite, bacteria, because those inoculations have the nano material in it to track you and to also mind manipulate you through psionics. So the new thing is I'm worried about is, number one, AI is already here, but because of the new technology with the computer systems and these new bits and these new energy sources, they can hold the amount of power they have now to compute is 1,000 times stronger than what we have now. And they have already linked that to an AI. Now, so these computers and this programming now is on a quantum level. We're talking really nanoparticleized, and it can integrate into energy, and it can integrate into human electricity. So you will be seeing a lot of psychotic things happening this year that normal humans would not normally do. Maybe they're going to act like a zombie. Maybe they're going to, just do crazy things that you normally wouldn't do. And they've been doing this, slowly breaking us into this, testing out how they can mind control people. And you wouldn't even know you were being controlled. You're just going to go, you might not even remember you did something. So these things are very real. I'm worried about it. I'm a little concerned, which I never get worried about anything. But the concern is that the AI is being interlinked with these massively superior computing systems that, not only can we manipulate, or whoever's in control of it manipulate masses, they can actually manipulate a single person. Now, this has been around for a while, but not on this kind of level. We're already kind of contaminated. The thing is, we can work through that and cleanse ourselves and neutralize a lot of these things out of the body. We have a special zeolite, not all from planet Earth, and these zeolites, because of this meteor that crashed into a zeolite mine in Texas, we were able to extract this zeolite, and it's a chelating factor. So all the products that we're talking about, like the nano green, all that stuff, has this nanoparticle zeolite in it, which is a chelator. So it does form bonds around these nanoparticulates and forms a covalent bond and neutralizes it and transmutes it, so it's worthless. It doesn't happen overnight with one drink. It's something that's a therapy that you have to be on throughout the year. These new nanotechnology that you're breathing in and out that Dr. H is talking about is also a really big concern, because you can't see it and it's in the air. And it's kind of like we were talking about the gases, right, Dr. H, that were released?
Yeah.
So these things are very small, and it only takes a little bit to get into your system, which is very simple. So take care of your skin, most importantly, and be careful eating out. And of course, salads are the largest cross-contamination thing you can do. I know it's hard to grow your own salads, but I miss growing up on the farm, and Darla and I are moving out of this place hopefully this year. So we're going to get a farm and start going back into that, because I have right now access just for my organic friends and families around here that supply us with stuff. But we've tested the foods all around everywhere, especially when Darla and I travel for fun. We take our petri dishes and test a lot of the foods that we pick up on the road, and it's completely contaminated with E. coli and, amongst other things, newly different types of technologies that we're not even familiar with. And a lot of these nanotechnologies, believe it or not, are in the water. So you cannot drink any city water or any municipal water at all. It's deadly. It has not only the radioactive isotopes in it, the chlorine levels are too high, and that's because they don't want anyone to catch, viruses, bacteria, parasites. But what's funny is the testing that they're doing on it doesn't test for nanoparticles. So you can have a virus parasite in that water, and they're totally pulling the covers over your eyes. When you get that little slip, in the mail, oh, we did our water, here's the, Las Vegas Water District saying, oh, we did all these testing, here's all the metals, and completely safe. It's completely bullshit. So, and the sad thing about that is you can go ahead and get that purified water filter on your sink. But if you're taking a shower in it, if you're brushing your teeth with that water, you got to treat this like you're visiting a third world country. I taught survival for the Air Force for 4 years. And and plus being working in surgery my whole life, everything's about cross-contamination. So you have to really look at everything and everyone as a pathogen. And unfortunately, and you have to, also when you go out and come back, we have ozone generators here. We have IQ air systems. Look up IQ air systems. They're the best in the world. And these things, help clean the air. But it's all about exposure. And the exposure comes from the food you eat, the water you eat, and the people that you go meet up with. The other thing is we treat a lot of patients that after the 30 days, we got them cleaned up. We make sure that they stay on an ounce of this for the next 6 months, because when we kill these parasites, viruses, and bacteria through frequency and through the aquafarine nano blue and emerald green, they get really upset and they know it's coming. They feel the energy and they start laying eggs like crazy in the body. So we kill all the parasites, all the viruses and bacteria, but then you have eggs from a month ago that are now hatching into larvae. Now you have eggs that are 30, 60, 90 days just hanging out, waiting until all this crap is out of your body so they can flourish again. So we keep up with you and we do spot checks and spot treatments with frequency when we zap them with our patients at 30, 60, and 90 days. And that's using the Emery Star NLS system, which you can look up on emerysmith.co. I'll put the link up for you guys so you can see it. It's a very in-depth frequency scan that I was telling you about at the beginning of the show. It's very in-depth and we find out everything. So you're going to know everything about yourself. Sometimes that's a problem with partners. Just a joke, just a joke. But you know what? At least you're getting clean. There it is. Yeah. Hey, Cameron, can you copy paste that link into the text messages so that people can read the description thing? Yeah, down there, that wherever the description, I think it should be in there. I don't know. But yeah, so this is something that moving forward, you really need to know everything about your body. You need to know what's been in your body, for your whole lifetime. We can see that. And it's a really eye opener. And it's great because then you have something to go off with moving forward, because, we're battling the radiation isotopes. We are with the zeolites and the stuff that are in here, but we still need to keep up with it because there's more stuff that we have to come up with to battle with these new types of isotopes. And Dr. H is all over it, and I'm trying my best to assist him with that. Yeah, there it is, bioscan. So, Dr. H, I want to thank you for coming on board, man. I appreciate it. Everyone here appreciates it.
Well, I'm worried about you. I mean, I know you got hit by this also, so I know it affected you also. So
yes, yeah, I'm doing good now. I'm doing the red dot, of course.
You sound great. I'm going to send you out something like the special mushroom formula developed by a friend of mine that is quite remarkable for detoxifying all the toxins also. And they're using it on cancer patients. I know you see a lot of patients like that. So I'll get it out to you as soon as I can next Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that always. I love that because we treat each other all the time.
Yes.
Darla and I get hit all the time by
No.
side weapons, scalar weapons, new types of scalar and photometry weapons. And, I hate to break the bubble, but they just announced that they can put through AM, FM radio, they can hide a frequency in there for a virus, like a cold virus.
Yeah.
And bacteria.
Yeah.
So it travels through your Wi-Fi and it can be anywhere in your house. It can be coming from this. This is the most deadliest thing that you have. Keep that thing in a Defender Shield case. I don't have nothing to do with that company, by the way. But I tested over 1,000 of these stupid things because Darla makes me test them all. And the last one she gave me, I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I tested it, and it did knock the electromagnetic field and the 5G pretty good. So this little Defender Shield case, it comes with a little thing here. Go to Defender Shield, check it out. Keep that phone 3 feet away from you when you sleep at night. You can shut your Wi-Fi off at night, shut it off, shut all your phones off if you can. If you can't, just put it away from your bed. Don't sleep with this. Do not keep the phone in your crotch while you drive, you men. And you women, do not keep it in your pocket, in your butt, because these things will cause you cancer in the next couple of years. They've already proved it. Oh, hold on. Hello. You're here?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. 3 o'clock. Okay, 3 o'clock. Thank you. No, today. Oh, yeah, it should be. Well, did you ever do it there before? No, I don't want to ask because then they might say something. Yeah, just come. I'll pay you either way. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bye. Yeah. So this the energies now are being manipulated. Those satellites that Elon put up there, they're not for what you think. Those things are for tracking people that have had the inoculation. They can measure, they can see you anywhere now. They can see if you're underwater scuba diving. There's no secret places anymore because the harmonic systems they have now around the planet that pick up just the slightest, even when that sub blew up, the people in the opposite ocean on the other side of the planet in the Navy, they could pick it up. That's how sensitive these technologies are. So we want to just be aware of all the electrical stuff that's around you. A lot of you guys are super sensitive people, and you don't want to be sitting under fluorescent light bulbs either. So even the coil ones are dangerous, deadly. Just one of those things contaminate over 1 million gallons of water in the aquifer. If you break one and bury it, and that rain goes down to the aquifer that year, 100 million gallons are contaminated. Yeah. So these things, this is little things you have to learn and understand. There are special ways to dispose of them at Home Depot and Lowe's, and change everything out to LED lights. And because you're getting nuked, and you're going to see a lot more of this. The ETs are aware of this, and they are here. They're also they're en route. They're behind the moon. They're already here. There's hundreds of thousands of these extraterrestrials walking amongst us. I know a lot of people said they were all going to come. A lot of my colleagues out there are saying, predicting, oh, they're going to be here on the 15th, and everyone got excited. And I don't do predictions like that. I always tell them not to say things like that because it's not what everyone thinks. Disclosure already happened. They are planning this year to make themselves known, and it probably is not going to be like flying into the White House lawn. It's more going to be like, here's our craft. Take a look at us. We're just going to hang out here for a little bit to show you that we're not doing anything, because the fear level needs to be dropped because everyone's going to have a lot of fear. I want you guys to really meditate on that and come to terms about, what would you do if you're face to face with an extraterrestrial? What would you do if they didn't look exactly like a human? Are you going to be able to not judge that being because it's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen? Or are you going to have fear? These are things that humans are programmed because of the way we're raised. It's going to throw a lot of the religion and history of science and mathematics right out the door. And you need to prep yourself for that and not be in shock, because it's all for the best of what's moving forward. This is not going to be I don't support the evil alien invasion that my colleagues are telling everyone it's going to happen. I do not believe they can't, it is there. They already have it. They can do this, but I don't believe the extraterrestrials will allow that to happen, to be misappropriated, looked at, because they don't want that. They're really upset that we've gone this far and the government and disclosure didn't happen already. They wanted the government to come forward and be truthful and say, hey, we've been contacted. We've been, having contracts with them. There's different corporations in different countries like Russia and Germany too, that have separate, and China, that have separate contracts that are, working with technologies and stuff for a very, very long time. And I'm really, I'm waiting to see what happens, politically with what's going on. I've heard there's going to be a lot of release of information, because it'd be easier if our society, as a planet Earth, that we come forward as one to say, hey, this is what's been going on. I'm really sorry we haven't told you guys about it. And here are some of the technologies that we've been using behind your back. Here are some technologies we have, but we can't release it because it could be used as a weapon. I think the American people and the people of the planet will have an easier time if the truth came out through us first, instead of it coming out with a a 2 mile giant ship, off off the coast of Gulf of Mexico, just sitting there, and not really saying much. People are going to have to come to terms with that. Extraterrestrials exist. They're children of God, and they're here, and that's it. So get ready. It's going to be a great year. So, Dr. H, is there anything else that you want me to cover? Did you have any other questions I can help you with? I'll get with you, of course, today, and we'll
Yeah,
go
get
over all
with
the
me
stuff.
today, and I just want to go over a couple of things and make sure that some of the dosages are correct and stuff like that. So, is
Yeah,
there anything on that January 12th? Did they have that explosion on the 12th, like you said? Because I did have
Yeah.
one person that's close to that almost got really sick and thought she was going to die. So, did they
Yes.
do that? They did that explosion
Yes.
off the Pacific? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So everything that you said was right on in terms of dates and everything like that. I'm just amazed that you had that information. By the way, I talked to one of my other key contacts, military connections, and he said anything that starts with an M1 on the code or an M2,
Yeah.
it's basically, intelligence.
Yeah. That's what it means. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
They're testing things and allegedly saying it's an accident. They're very careless. People think that, oh, it's the military, or it's these corporations, or it's the one percenters, and they think they're just so intelligent, and they're not. They're not. And there's lots of different organizations coming forward. I don't know if you guys saw my live interview last night with Michael Herrera, and we were talking about Jake Barber, the new Air Force whistleblower. If not, go back and watch it. It's on Cosmic Disclosure Alliance Facebook page, right, Cameron?
Yes, I'll put the
Is it on
link
YouTube? Is it on the
the
YouTube?
yeah, I'll upload it onto the YouTube. It's the Cosmic network. It's our Cosmic Television network. I will upload it there, and I'll put in the chat right here the link to our Facebook group, Cosmic.
Yeah, maybe put a link to that video, so people that haven't seen it last night could see it. That's
Copy
another
that.
in really good information. Do you guys have any questions for is Sandra still here? I think she left.
Yeah, Sandra had to drop off. She said sorry she had to kind of do an Irish exit and take off, but the
Oh,
gets
well,
to-
that's not very Christian-like at all. Okay, well.
I gave her our love. Hey, a lot of people in the chat are asking about, why are they doing these attacks like off of the coast? Why are they doing these type of M197 attacks? Why are they doing this?
Well, these are not specific attacks. These are the residual complications that happen after these testing. It was just like when we tested at the Nevada test site, all those nuclear bombs, in the 50s and 60s, what happened? Well, there's still radiation there. All those aquifers got contaminated. All those Indians out there died from the water. So this is a residual negative effect when they're practicing with these new chemicals and different types of radioactive material that they're making. And they think if they do underground or deep in the oceans, that it's not going to go anywhere. And, war is the biggest moneymaker. Weapons are the biggest moneymaker out there, and we happen to be the leaders over here doing that with these corporations like Raytheon and Boeing. And, it's just what it is. So that's why it's not, Cameron, that they're trying to, I mean, they are trying to kill and, get the population to decrease for sure. But they're not going to go out and right now and kill a bunch of healthy people, like most of us. They're going to go after specific people that have already diseases and prey on them around the world. And it's And that's what's happening. And many of you have been attacked. You probably don't even know it, either psionically, energetically, or through the air, through the food. Guarantee every one of you on here, if I did a scan on you, would pick up some of these crazy radioactive materials or parasites or viruses or bacteria that didn't even exist, 10 years ago. They're everywhere. They're flourishing. Being healthy is the most important thing you can do, and definitely there's enough sleep that your body needs to fight this off. So start eating better and start, keep your exercise going and make sure you get on these supplements and protect your family and protect yourself. But yes, it is very detrimental what they're doing, because everything they do is to make us sick. Everything, the food processing, the water, okay, messing with the atmosphere, okay. Our atmosphere is getting thinner and thinner. More radiation is coming in every year from the sun. They're contaminating, of course, the air. The air quality in the past 10 years is just on a huge decline everywhere in the world. And when you have these massive fires, and of course, China has gas, coal, and oil, the most gas, coal, and oil energy plants than anywhere. And they're just burning wood, gas, coal, and oil all day long. And all that's going up into the sky and coming right over here. So even though Norway and Europe and United States and Canada, we use as much measures we can to decrease the contaminants coming out of these power plants with giant filters and things, it still is not going to make a difference unless the entire planet, we all come together and work as one. I think Trump's going to have a lot of success in the next 4 years getting the world to come together to clean it up. And especially if all these new patents and all these new devices are released, we're all going to benefit from that. So I think I'm really excited to looking forward to this new year. Looking forward to working with all my amazing team members, which you've met. Which this is the first time I had that many people met this many people on. Where we had a couple other people that were watching, like Dr. Sandra, and then Dr. H came on, and of course we'll do another one with Dannion Brinkley. He's hilarious, and get the updates of what happened. I can't wait to see what Kennedy says to him. And we do have other people in our group talking to Kennedy. And we're really blessed that we have an in with all that. So, okay, any more questions? I know we went over a little bit. I know we came on 15 minutes late, but we went over 15 minutes. I'm really thankful that all of you came to show your support, to meet Dannion and Sandra, Dr. H, and myself. Dr. H, you still there? No? Okay.
Let's get him on here.
Well, I just wanted to say thank him. I just want to thank
Say hey, they're calling.
Yeah, I'm back. I was sorry. I was
Okay.
just,
Well, Dr. H, I want to thank you for taking the
You're
time
welcome.
to speak to my group here that came on board to listen to us on a Sunday. And I know, you don't take new patients and stuff like that. You're a VIP secret scientist, but I will, whenever you want to do another, just you and me, live, we'll do something for everyone and they can listen to some of the new updates. And maybe I'll do that next week with
well,
you.
one of the things I want everyone to get to a different way of thinking is that rather than trying to treat everything I know you're working on developing quantum field technology where you go into it, everything gets into the 0 point, or what I call a super last dimension, where all of a sudden everything gets erased. How far away do you think we are from that technology to be able to, because that's the one that you don't have to work on a specific poison or this or that, you just go into the field and then all of a sudden everything gets neutralized in that dimension.
Sure.
How far away do you think we are from that?
Well, I'm glad you said dimension. Because it is getting the body into that free energy area, and
Yes.
it self-corrects itself because it's connected to the source.
Yes.
So it already knows.
Yes.
So I believe maybe this year, by the end of the year, if he does release a lot of these patents and a lot of these, like I have 300 patents in there that are under National Security Acts. So I mean,
Right.
there's millions of patents that are in there from amazing scientists that worked in the projects,
Right.
that if they release that, because the thing is to do it legally
Yes.
without Big Brother over your shoulder or Big Pharma saying that we don't want that. I mean,
Right.
how many times I've been shut down by those two
Right.
individuals. So you have to look at this, and I believe, my opinion, and I don't say dates, you know me, I'm not a David Wilcock or a soothsayer or anything. I know things because I'm a remote viewer, but I believe that by the end of this year, we will be able to have a field of energy that you're talking about that you can walk into, that will have transdimensional energy and energy from the 3D that you can walk through and and in the masses and be able to reset that genetic markers that have been put in place that should not have been put in place that cause these diseases and cancers and things. So I believe that that should happen, pretty much this year sometimes, Dr. H.
Okay. Because I mean, I know you're working on it and I'd like to assist you and help you to input some, some codes.
Oh, for sure. No, yeah, like we're gonna have well, I'll get with you on that. We're doing some testing, coming up in a couple of months with all those technologies. So I'll let you know. Yeah.
Okay.
And don't forget to come to my birthday party.
When is that?
I don't know yet. That's classified.
Yeah, I'll try to make it for you. Yeah, you're a special being. I would like to honor you.
No
All right.
date.
You have four. You
Doesn't
have
give
four
out
birth.
dates.
What was that?
No
Was that-
dates. He doesn't give out dates.
I don't
Well,
give out dates.
but he has 4 birthday parties a year. Which one is his real birthday?
Okay, I'm guilty as charged. Hey, there's 4 of me. There's a lot going on in here. It's getting crowded. That's an inside joke. Some of you guys are smiling. I know Darla's smiling. All right.
All
So
right.
thank you guys, and thank you, Dr. H.
All right.
You guys are great. Let's see here. I'll look at some of the questions if there are any here at the end here. T. Ramut, yeah, it does suck when you're trying to do your best and eat and drink healthy, and everything's contaminated. It is. Yeah. It's better just to get a really good, if you have one of those companies in a city near you where they make the, whatever water, purified water, high alkaline water, and they have like the real good systems there, and you take your 5-gallon jugs. I mean, that's probably the best way because they test that stuff every day. The best of the best is if you have a well and you're not in a contaminated zone. So pretty much, I don't know, 80%, maybe around 80, 85% of the well water is completely contaminated in the United States, just so you know. Full of radioactive deuterium and isotopes that make you age and destroy your cells. So regardless, moving forward, we are designing a whole house water system and smaller water systems that are portable that you can put the water in and get the radioactive
We're getting the
isotopes.
boats, right? You want the boats?
The what?
We should just leave them out.
Oh, someone's on not muted, Cameron. I can hear back chatter. So we're trying to work on it. And like I said, the new technologies, we need these secret technologies to get these technologies to fruition to give to you guys. And Trump's all about it. He wants everyone to have one of these scanning systems in their house. Isn't that awesome? He wants everyone to have clean water. I mean, for me, water is one of the biggest things in the world. For me, I'm just a water fiend, and I've been studying water my whole life around the world. And it's sad that we can't, make our, just make our own water that's clean. One of the best systems that I will recommend, I have no affiliation with it, is if you can go anywhere online, and I used to build these for the space station and space shuttle and other underground facilities, are these AWGs, atmospheric water generators. Now, there was a couple companies that were making at home, like a civilian can own one. They're usually around 3 to 4 grand, sometimes 10 grand. And you have to, it doesn't work so good in the desert if it's a dry zone, but it will work. It just takes longer. And an atmospheric water generator sucks in the air through a fan. It goes through a filter, and the water droplets in the air form on there. So you're making your own rain in your house. I've done this my whole life. When I moved last, they damaged both of my destroyed my atmospheric water generator. So I now have to build another one. I haven't had time, and it's just killing me because I rely on that thing. Even if the electric goes out, I have a solar panel I put outside, I run the cord in, and it runs it. So I have free water as much as I want. It just runs 24/7, gathers the water, puts it in a reservoir, goes through a UV light, goes through 4 or 5 different filters, and you can control the pH and the alkalinity. So you can actually, when my mom had cancer, I had her on 10.5 alkalinity, and I was drinking 10.5 all the time from it because I was a super athlete, and it was really good for removing toxins and keeping the weight off. So there are systems that are out there that they have discontinued because it's so healthy, these atmospheric water generators that you can control. And I was really upset about that. One of them was called the Atmos, ATMOS 28. It's now been renamed something else. And it's the same exact system, but guess what they did? They took the alkalinity part out of it. So it's just a regular like 8.09, not a high alkalinity, just a good one, like your body 7.8 or 8.0. But the great thing about it is that thing, it makes water for you and your family all day long. And you're drinking rainwater that you're making yourself, and it's safe because it came from you. There's filters on that, so it's not going to take the dust and all that stuff in there. It's not like that. It's super ultra pure. Look it up. Email me at cosmicmarket3@gmail.com if you do find something cool, because I have to go back on and start looking for these again, because I need something quick because it takes me a while to build my own. Now, the ones I used to make, I would use a cargo container. They would give me a cargo container in the military, and I would cut both sides out and put these giant fans in there and solar panels, and we could drop these anywhere, and they would just make water for everyone for free using solar. You can do the same thing. This is part of your prepping 101. We're having, Michael Herrera and I are getting together. We have the go bags that we're designing for you guys that we're going to be showing you the last week of January. A lot of you guys know Michael Herrera is one of the whistleblowers. He's a really great guy. We've been doing a lot of work together this week. So be looking forward for that. And we're going to be doing some survival training. So we're going to have a criteria where we take you guys out we're going to do a tropical one, a desert one, and an Arctic one. And then we're going to do the online one where we're teaching you online all the cool things of how to survive when all, shit goes bad, including, how to make water and how to keep yourself surviving. Even we're going to talk about the day after contact, because it's going to get a little weird psychologically for a lot of your family and friends. And you're going to have to be that person to, be there for the public, and everyone's going to come to you because they're going to be like, oh yeah, remember Jude Gray was talking about that at the coffee shop the other day. She probably knows all this shit. We thought she was freaking crazy. Let's go run over there right now, and she's going to tell us everything, So it really is going to happen like this, and it has happened in the past. I've lost a lot of family and friends when I went public 8 or 9 years ago, and they just thought I was crazy. And then as soon as CNN posted that damn Tic Tac, 6, 7 years later, everyone's calling me up. Man, you were right. I'm sorry. Oh. Next. So you gotta be there. You gotta be there. So you gotta train and be there mentally right, physically right, and spiritually right, because things are gonna get really heated here soon. And you're ready. You guys are ready because you're here listening to me. So I know you're ready. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry I went over. I love you guys. We're gonna do another one
Emery.
next day with another special guest.
Emery.
Yep.
Yes, Darla.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an exciting time to be alive. What an incredible experience we as humanity are going through on this planet Earth. And we're so grateful to have
Hey, Michael and Karen.
Have have Emery here, Darla here, and thank you to our guests, of course, Dannion Brinkley. We can't wait to see him again, and our surprise guests, right, with Dr. Sandra Rose Michael and Dr. H. Thanks for calling in, Dr. H. But just to kind of recap, like how amazing we got, like a new energetic paradigm that Dannion Brinkley is talking about. We got this amazing technology for healing the planet and humanity, of course, with Dr. Sandra Rose Michael and the EE systems. And although we have talked about some crimes against humanity, that's going on that Dr. H spoke about, and the nanotech that you and the guests talked about, we do have the remedies, we have the antidotes, we have the things to do a lot. We can take accountability ourselves, and that is what some of the products you have. Somebody was asking real quick. There's some questions about where to find the EES system. So let me just share this real quick, and then some of the other amazing healing technologies we have. I wanted to bring Darla on to explain the Emery Star scan. So as you guys can see here, this is the EES systems. You can go down and check it out. Also, Dannion, you can go here, Dannion.com. You can subscribe to his newsletter down here, and just check that out. He's doing some really good service for Americans and especially veterans. Going back here, if you're looking for a center, somebody was asking, do they have one in Asheville? I believe you can go to right here. Look at this tab right here, find a center, and then boom, you're going to be able to look it up, and you can find where to locate your own healing center, basically where they have ES systems. All right, but let's get to the Emery Star scan. I wanted Darla to speak about that a little bit. Darla, can you share with us a little bit about this technology?
Yeah, I'll be brief because I know you guys are anxious to see Trump coming on real quick. So just to give you an idea of the difference, we're offering something new that we just started doing, which is a follow-up scan. And that's different than the original scan, but you do need to do the original scan first, because that comes with a full analyzation of your entire body, including your DNA. We have to have that information first to know what we're dealing with your body. And then the follow-up scan is something that we recommend after you've done all of our protocols and any other treatments, follow-ups that we've suggested that you do. And if you're having chronic conditions or something like that, that is still kind of lingering, then we offer a follow-up scan. And that is for a discounted price. And that's 6 scans. So you're getting 3 per week. And it also includes the full 5 methatherapy treatment as well as the auto destruct. So it's like you're getting a full treatment every single time, for up to 6 treatments. And then on the 6th treatment, sorry, you guys, I'm losing my voice. We just got back from Colorado.
Yeah, just to throw in there, when I talked about this scan during this webinar, the scan is just part of that. When we scan you, we also treat you 5 times on that first additional scan, and we do 1 destruct. So you are actually getting treated as we're scanning you, and then we have an interview with you, which takes a couple hours on the phone going through the scan with you. So we both are on the same page and showing you what you have. And then we do a destruct where Darla goes in there as the pilot, and she will hone in on that little critter and neutralize it. Go ahead, Darla.
Kill it.
Neutralize is what we use in the military, Darla.
Whatever term you use. I'm a medical professional. So I don't have military terms. Anyways, so what we do is, like he said, we do the destruct, and we also make tinctures, which are literal antidotes to any problem in your body that's causing your conditions that you're experiencing and the symptoms that you're having. So we will actually know what is the cause of these problems, not just let's treat one specific area of your body. We're treating your entire body because it's all connected anyway. So we're not going to even miss that hangnail that you have. We're going to make sure that every single part of your body is treated. And so, like I said, with the follow-up scan or the rescan, I don't know exactly how Cameron posted it on the website or if it's on there yet, but this is something new that we're doing for current patients. So I know a lot of you guys on here are our current patients right now. And so we want you to be aware of this follow-up scan that we're offering. And I am training new co-pilots as well. I have 2 co-pilots, Darcy and Eric, my twin sister and her husband, and our 3rd co-pilot that we are training still, Amber Black, she's going to be next. So I'm having them do kind of like the initial scanning part, and then Emery and I and other people that we're working with, medical professionals, are all doing the analyzation process part, which takes the most time. That's why it is very a time-consuming process, and it's not just a quick, the computer reads it for us. We have to do all the reading, all the analyzation, and it's very detailed. Just so you guys know, it's like 2,000 pages of us going through
2,248 pages.
Okay, well, to be exact, but it's a very timely process. But we're looking at starting of your health, getting back to normal again, and having a better quality of life, especially some of you who've been suffering for a long time with certain conditions and your body's just struggling to get past it. We can find the cause, and sometimes it can come back. And, maybe you went and traveled and it's, you guys are exposed again. And we're going to try to help you understand not how to just get rid of the problem now, but how to prevent it from coming back, how to protect yourself when you're out there, and explain to you everything about your body that you'll need to know how to protect your house, so you're not exposing yourself, so you're not multiplying these critters that are causing the problems. Maybe find where the source is, where you're getting it from. And if you have significant others or family members or even animals that live in the same household with you, then we need to treat them too. It's not just treating the one person, because if you're surrounded by other people with these same critters, let's just call them, which are the bad guys that are causing the problems, and we need to get rid of all of them from everybody that's around you. So it's a process, but it's way better than what Western medicine is offering. And we're not saying don't do any Western medicine. We like to work in conjunction with Western medicine, and we do tell you to stay on your current medications unless they're causing problems, and we will talk to you about all that too. So we go through the full report with you guys once we're done analyzing it. And it's like a 2 to 3 hour review of your whole body and how to really get your health improved and to keep moving forward in improving it for indefinitely till whenever it's our time.
Hey, Darla, I really appreciate you bringing up about the multiplication with energies. You know, I didn't mention that to them, so thank God you brought it up. So the new mutated viruses and bacteria. So let's just say, you know, an RSV virus today is completely different than the one 2 years ago. They're mutating and they're stronger, and they're also full of nanobots. So what Darla's talking about is with the house and your energy systems, believe it or not, when we grow viruses here in the lab, when we swab someone, we know they have a virus, we check it, you know, third party, separate laboratory, whether it's staph or aspergillus or a fungus, it doesn't matter what it is. If you put a Wi-Fi, if you put the Petri dish near the Wi-Fi, or if you put it next to a cell phone, those parasites, bacteria, and viruses grow 5 times faster and stronger. So the energy that they're giving us, that we're utilizing from our computers, from this, from radio, is exciting the viruses and bacteria parasites, and their mitosis is just going crazy. It's like 5 to 10 times faster. So Darla was just saying, we got to talk to you about the energetics, because we don't want you, you know, there's a protocol we have in your house, you know, to make sure you're not, you know, gonna use the phone next to your head for, you know, maybe at your job. There's other ways we can show you to lessen that that energy transfer to these diabolical parasites, viruses, and bacteria. And they making them like this. These are bioengineered new viruses, bacteria, and parasites that they're making and releasing daily. And we're going to educate you guys this year on that. My whole thing this year is to educate the public on the biological hazard and the electrical hazard, and of course the EMF, 5G, 6G, 7G, Wi-Fi frequencies. And we know how to do it. Go ahead, Darla. Sorry.
Okay, so I just want to let you guys know that the follow-up scan is a big discount, and it is a lot. You're getting a lot for it, just so you know. But once we do the original scan and we go through the process of all the steps that we've had you take, then you guys can be offered the rescan. So I think somebody tried to purchase a rescan, but they haven't done an original scan yet first. So just so you guys know, that's the process.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so let me look here real quick, Darla, what that says on the thing. I didn't even know we put a rescan up there, because we only talked to the patients that have already had it done. But let me look at it and let's see if it says it. Okay, here it is. So what we'll do is
So we need to just explain that somehow on the website so they know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make it clear. Yeah.
Is it okay if I just let everybody know it's in progress? There's going to be a separate page, a service page. It's going to be specifically for the scans, and you can contact us directly through that, and we can get you set up on the scans. And then, as Darla said, huge discounts for the rescans once you get going, and we're going to keep you guys healthy so we can keep kicking butt cosmically out here, and you know, keep going and you know, evolving our consciousness on this planet right now.
Yeah, so the scan costs $3,300, and it includes your tinctures. These are the antidotes that she's talking about. We used to charge an extra $500, but we put it all together. It's $3,300, and these tinctures are the antidotes. So when we let's say we found a parasite in you. So what we can do is we have this special sterile water that we put inside the device, and it bioimprints a holographic frequency into the water that is the cure for that specific parasite. And we do that to all your parasites, all your viruses, all your bacteria. So you might get like 40 of these eyedropper things in these little pink bottles with eyedropper. Oh, there's one right there.
Glenn's displaying it for us.
And you're going to be taking that morning and night, and it's usually done in like 7 to 10 days. It'll last.
And he's demonstrating.
Glenn, those of you can see Glenn there, he's got a bottle there. So we have to, it's very intricate, what we do, and we have it's a lot of time, and it's very serious. We take it very seriously because these things can mutate in your body and cause havoc later on. And we now have a protocol in place. We are super success rate, and knock on wood. And the whole thing is to teach people how to do this for themselves moving forward in the future. And that's why I'm excited. We're opening this new clinic this year, and we're also putting an educational part to it, a university, so people can learn these new types of technologies that are going to be released, not just medical, but other things energetically as well. Is that it, Darla?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to see Trump right now. So,
oh, Trump, when's he come on right now?
I think at the top of the hour. So
okay,
4 minutes.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Cameron. Clap. Thank you,
Commander
everyone here. I did
here at the command center.
Yeah, right.
Rallying the troops. Hey, can we show one more thing before we go, you guys?
What is it?
I just want to say thank you for everyone for registering and signing up and supporting this awesome webinar on the brink. Get ready for the next episode, the next show. But we have a little commercial. It's just like 1 minute. It's 1 minute, and I want to give a shout out to Michelle DePaul because she actually made this.
Thank you, Michelle.
Oh, thank you, Michelle.
It's right here. We're just gonna play it real quick.
Okay.
It's a cool little commercial. So we're gonna start doing more stuff like this. Let me know if you can hear it.
Oh yeah, we love Michelle DePaul.
Nasal spray. Do you suffer from certain nasal disorders?
Oh, I can't see it
Do you
though.
have allergies due to pollen, environmental, or even
Can you
pet
see it, Emery?
No, I can't see it, Commander.
Or maybe you're around large crowds.
Can anyone else see it?
Emery Smith and his team of scientific biological developed a nasal spray
Post up there instead.
No one can see it.
What the heck, dude?
We could hear it.
Okay, yeah, I think I gotta share this right here.
I like that one she did with the nano emerald green. That was really cool.
It's QuickTime. Yeah, this is the one. All right, this is 1 minute exactly.
What is Ormolate Nano Blue Nasal Spray? Do you suffer from certain nasal disorders? Maybe you have allergies due to pollen, environmental, or even pet dander. Do you travel a lot, or maybe you're around large crowds? Emery Smith and his team of scientific biological engineers have developed a nasal spray containing an executive proprietary blend with a zetolite containing more than just Earth's healing minerals. It also has Ormus and Nano Blue. Ormolate Blue provides hours of protection pathogens that you breathe while keeping the sensitive mucus hydrated and protected. Nano Blue is an antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antiparasitic, and antivirus. Every household should have Nano Blue nasal spray. Get yours today, you won't regret it. For more information, go to emerysmith.co and check out all the other products.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. I did see that one. She makes the best stuff. I'm so blessed to have her on the team here.
Yeah, well, we love you guys. Do you want to close it out, Darla, Emery, Glenn?
Well, where's the emerald green one? Can you show the emerald green one?
Yeah. There's emerald blue or a nano blue commercial.
No, she did a nano emerald green with the Wi-Fi.
Oh, she did. Yeah, I'll have to cue that up for next time. I don't have it on.
All right, that was so cool.
I'll
put
play
this
that
in
one
front of the
next time.
router, and the electromagnetic field meter went to 0.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you go to the Facebook group, Cosmic Disclosure Alliance, it's in the featured pinned post, and you can see it there. But I'll cue it up next time. Zara, real quick, because we're like at the top of the hour. She's had her hand raised for like an hour.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
we can't
sorry. I
allow
just,
Zara. No, no
hi
questions for
guys.
her.
No,
No.
really quick. I just wanted to just give a testimony for the scan and everything because Emery and Darla saved my life. I've been detoxing for like more than 10 years. I'm a health nut. So I don't want people to get freaked out and scared over all this shit that they put in the air and the water and everything. Because if I'm a registered nurse and everyone's catching this new norovirus that's going around, it doesn't come to me, knock on wood. I take the nano blue every day. I did the scan. I had the chicken pox when I was 5 years old. So Darla and Emery found the cytomegalovirus in my heart, which I had no idea about. I had no symptoms, no cardiac symptoms. And I just had to share that with everyone because I just want to tell people I'm not new to this stuff. And this scan is like no other scan I've ever encountered. So that's all I had to say for like an hour.
Zara, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that, but I'm glad you did because, some of the things we find on these scans are life-threatening. And if we didn't get to know some of these patients and find out these things, it could have been really bad. And you are one of them.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
doing great too. So we're really proud
Thank
of you
you.
because you're a good compliant patient. We love the patients that do what we say. We don't like the patients that we scan them and then we give them all this stuff. And then especially if they come to Las Vegas and then they go out that night and get hammered and go to the casinos and get all the electromagnetic field energies from all the games and they just poison themselves. You're one of these people that stick to it and you got the results that you wanted because you're a very compliant patient. I don't know if it has anything to do with you being a registered nurse like Darla, but
I mean, if you guys don't prioritize your health, me and Darla have seen what happens in the hospital if you don't start taking care of yourself. It's really scary. So just do it and just take Nano Blue, everyone. All right.
It's that simple.
It is. All right, guys, we got to go. Wrap it up. Thank you, everyone.
Everybody.
I see a lot of familiar names here, like Glenn and Lynn and Eric, and we got, man, all these people. Love you guys. I did go through and kind of look at who was here for a little bit. Love you guys. We got another one Sunday. Oh man, this is going to blow your mind on Sunday. If you like this one, you're going to love the next one. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments at cosmicmarket3@gmail.com, or where else can they leave the comments for this? You can go to the website and when you click on Emery and Dannion, isn't there something there that you can click if you want to leave a comment? Cameron?
Yeah, I mean, they can comment. There's some comment section on the website, or just go to the Cosmic Disclosure Alliance Facebook group.
So just so you guys know, I just made all my shows on emerysmith.co free, except for like two shows on there. Like this show and my last show is not for free. But all these other shows that I've done the past couple of years, the ones that didn't get taken off by YouTube and all the other places are on there. So you can go back this past year and see all my other interviews for free. I just made them free, so you don't have to pay anything. It might say pay here, but you don't have to, right, Cameron? They could just click on it.
Yeah. There's a bunch of reorganization going on the website pages, and yes, everything is free for the past webinars. Correct.
Yes, awesome. All right, that's my gift to you guys. Until next Sunday, stay vigilant and love your neighbor, love your family, and love thyself. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Emery.
Happy Sunday.